Well, what a weird day it's been. Quite frankly, things have been absolutely insane. One of the main things that happened today that I thought was weird was that we still don't have the Epstein files. Am I right? They're still not here. It's kind of a strange time to be alive. Plus, we're going to talk about some crazy things. You know, the House actually shut down because they didn't want to talk about Epstein. So it's kind of this like great gaslighting feature that they have. It's like, can your wife really confront you about what that $1,200 cash withdrawal was if you don't even go home? Am I right? So you can't even talk to her if you're not home. The House is trying to avoid any accountability for Epstein. It's kind of crazy. And we're going to be talking about how House Speaker Mike Johnson actually shut that down. Plus, I got my X account back. Can we get a round of applause for that? And in the process of the Indians trying to steal my account, I got my account back, X got a hold of it, and then I got my monetization returned, which is like a 6-figure deal, which is like fantastic, which means this network can finally, for the first time in its life, get fries with their Chick-fil-A sandwiches. That's really good. No, this is really good news. Additionally, I want to talk to you about the fact that Trump says that Obama is actually guilty of treason for ordering the 2016 Russia investigation. We're still talking about other things. It doesn't matter, actually. We will talk about it. And on top of that, the Nelk Boys have a podcast with Netanyahu. They have Hassan on, Nick Fuentes on. It's this whole crazy thing. But what really happened? What's the overlying mentality that we're trying to communicate to young people today? I know Netanyahu says that he's smarter than everyone. We have a craziest 1-minute clip coming up. That and so much more here. Another episode of The Rift, live Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Let's start the show. My name is Elijah Schaefer, and we have a great show for you today. I don't know if you, real fast as we start, I'm at the blue tape. You want to just move the camera over a little bit? Someone bumped it real fast. Just straighten me up in there. Just move it horizontally, and we'll get. No, it's cool. We'll just adjust that. Yeah. There you go. All right, we got a great show for you today. We're talking about the Epstein files. I know it's insane. We got a lot of conversations. We're going to talk about Korea. We're going to talk about the fundraiser that was super successful from last night about getting canceled for speaking the truth. We have a lot to talk about. Just quickly, go ahead. His name is Pinesap on the internet, but he also goes by Connor. Go ahead and introduce yourself for people who don't know who you are.
Hi, everyone. I'm Pinesap, and I am a Catholic apologist. I love to speak about our faith. I love to speak about the gospel. I love to share the gospel, and I want to spread it to all men. And so really that's my mission, is anywhere where people are not hearing about the word of God, anywhere where people are not hearing about Jesus Christ, I want to be there.
Well, that's definitely this show. Am I right? We need God more than anyone. I definitely do. And of course, joining us, contributor for rifttv.com. You all know Anna, and you love her. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Anna Perez. I'm a Rift TV contributor. I'm a writer. You can find me at WrongThinkAnna on Instagram and on Twitter. And yeah, I'm excited to talk about the Epstein files that still have not been released yet.
Yes, and joining us for the first time today, live in studio, the one, the only, the creator of the first truly decentralized VPN that protects you from Jewish billionaires, my good friend, Matt Kim. He's like me, just a little bit, his eyes are a little tinier. Welcome to the show. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. Matt Kim. Glad to be on the show. If you want to find me online, just search Matt Kim. Other than that, I think I'm kind of the token Asian here today, so glad to be here.
Yeah, we're very happy about that. Anyway, for those of you guys that are here, someone asked, why does Elijah have a gay lisp? You obviously are not new here. Or you are new here. I'm from Los Angeles. They have atrazine in the water. And what it does is it actually gives us all lisps. And it's part of the show. No, it's genuinely how we all talk in LA. But we do have a great show for you today. Welcome those who are on Rumble, on YouTube, and on X. We're very happy today to have you watching, and especially on Locals. Shout out to our Locals community. Remember, you can send super chats on Rumble, on YouTube now, and on Locals. It really helps us out a lot, and we appreciate you. Don't forget to send those in. Anyway, let's go ahead and let's jump into the topics for today. We do have some crazy stuff we want to jump into. One of those things is our top story. It is the House fleeing D.C. a day early to avoid giving accountability to the pedophiles let's get into our top stories for today. Let's talk about it. Well, another day, another dollar. The GatewayPundit.com reports the House flees D.C. a day early. They won't return until September amid Epstein file release. Speaker Johnson blasts Representative Massie for sitting on discharge petition for 4 years. Quote, I don't understand his motivation. Jim Hoff reports, well, House Republican leaders have concealed Thursday's legislative session, deciding instead to recess after wrapping up business on Wednesday, according to Axios. The House was originally scheduled to wrap up business on Thursday before heading out for a 5-week August recess, but following eruptions within the GOP over how to handle the Epstein documents and Massie's discharge petition, leadership decided to flee town a day early. Charged language there from Jim Hoff, canceling Thursday's session entirely. The chamber is not expected to return until September. According to Axios, Massie's petition now has over 10 Republican signatures, enough to bypass the speaker and bring the measures to a vote. Wow. Okay. Well, it can be recalled that Massie joined forces with Representative Ro Khanna on a discharge petition aimed at compelling a full House vote on releasing classified Jeffrey Epstein files. Quote, if the executive branch won't release phase 2 of the Epstein files, we will, as Americans deserve transparency and the victims deserve justice. We'll read more about this as Mike Cernovich blasted the move, but that's not that important. All right, let's jump in this topic. So this is kind of crazy. Let's set the table here. We're at the table. So you have a Congress of the United States of America who is being asked by the American people, their constituents, that they represent, to do what the White House won't, which is to investigate the Epstein block. I don't know if you guys know this, but between Democrats and Republicans, not including those on Discord, pedophilia is not that popular, okay? So we'll leave that to the diaper fetish people. The rest of us are pretty abhorrently opposed to what's gone on here. Everybody knows it's Israel and it's Mossad, and we are protecting these people for 2 reasons. Number one, we do not want to implicate our own intelligence agencies and the Israeli intelligence agencies in crimes that violate children. We'll just leave it at that. This show's not pre-recorded. Can't cut anything out, so we'll just leave it at that. And number 2, that there are people within the Trump admin and across both administrations, whether it's the deep state, whether it's Howard Lutnick, I'm going to say allegedly, right? He's very litigious, who may or may not have kitty-diddled a few kitties. Very disgusting stuff, very abhorrent. Something that should rattle you. As Mike Mendoza likes to say, every single time you say what? You always go, put them in the
refrigerator. I mean, wood chipper.
Yeah, wood chipper. Thank you. That's crazy. Brand new stuff we're hearing for the first time. We're all doing a good job. So coming into this, the people say, okay, we're gonna get a hearing going here at the Capitol, the People's House. You know, we're gonna come together. Our leadership's gonna come together. It turns out that almost all of them have said, actually, oopsie, my kid did a poopsie. I got to leave early. This is the greatest, Irish goodbye I've ever seen. They all leave and say, we can't even vote on this. We can't deal with this right now. We got to go home. Which then I'm just going to throw over immediately to Matt, considering the fact that we know, A, the implication of the intelligence agencies of ours and a foreign nation working together, and 2, the fact that, there are people that are currently in power that don't want these files to be released. Everyone leaves, making us assume that maybe there's somebody pulling the strings and can make everybody leave. That's a logical conclusion. I'm just going to say this as I pass it to you. Shit is fucked, and I don't know what we're going to do, Matt. I don't know what we're going to do. What do you think, man?
Well, the one thing that the left and the right both agree on, because there's not a lot of issues that both sides agree on, but the people, the left and the right, both agree that Epstein is a bad guy. There is no confusion there. There is no, what if this is conspiracy? The whole country, left and right, believe that he is a bad guy. Not only is he a bad guy, but there are powerful people implicated in what he has done, and that it is a part of a Israeli campaign in order to compromise our leaders. This is something that both sides agree on. So for the first time, there's actually unity in the country on this issue, which I think is really interesting. And then you see this leadership class kind of saying, no, you guys are wrong. You guys are like crazy. You guys are bad people. I can't believe you guys want to get into this. Let it go. And we're like, wait a second. Why should we let it go? We all agree. And this is the first time we all agree. We feel like we want some sort of accountability. And then all of a sudden Congress is like, oh yeah, we'll look into this. Just kidding. We won't. We're not going to look into it.
Well, by the way, real fast, his mic is a little bit, I think, hot. Mic is lowered. Yeah, you gotta. I think you actually gotta turn him up. Something's up with his mic. You might want to check on that. So check it up to bring it up. That's a good point. And Pine, speaking of that, it's like we don't need to beat around the bush on the show. This is why Rift exists. We're not here to talk about the Jews and be inflammatory. It's just like, hey, clearly AIPAC controls our Congress. Clearly, there is Jewish institutional power that influences the actions of our government, and that results in them not doing what we want. Like this is a serious discussion for serious people about an extremely delicate topic, that there is so much Israeli control of our government that we cannot even unite over keeping pedophiles accountable. And it's infuriating, man. It's like, I don't know what else to say besides the fact of what is our Second Amendment for besides protecting children, right?
I mean, quite frankly, it's one of those things where when you reach a place in society where people can't even defend children, something has gone wrong. Something has gone awry. And the fact that we have a nation that's not our own, right? It's not even our own nation. And that would be abhorrent by itself, right? If America was sheltering and protecting pedophiles, I say, America should burn, right? But this other foreign nation intervening in such a way that we're not able to then, I guess, hold people accountable to their actions and protect our own children. What is that? I mean, that's lawlessness at that point. This is worse than any evil entity in any movie we could ever conjure up. And so I think that if we were to be honest about how to approach this pedophilia going on in positions of power, we have to talk about the Israel issue, and we have to talk about how they're covering this up and they're running cover for their guys so that people, the elites that run our society, can continue to do this just unabated.
Yeah, Leonardo Joni actually had just texted me and said that there was a Jewish intelligence officer that was working for our company. Actually, you can bring this up. We actually uncovered who that was. You can bring this on the screen. Let me know if we can bring this up. Yeah, so this is her, by the way. That's actually crazy. Sarah Stock, Jewish intelligence federal officer. That's what I saw, by the way.
I saw that tweet.
You saw that? Yeah. She's apparently working for the Mossad. And if she's the Mossad, I don't have a lot of hope in them, because 21-year-old white girls working in your operation, that's kind of crazy.
It's tough.
I think the 21-year-old girls that are working in your operation may say they're white when it's convenient, but it's also not necessarily true. It's a true statement.
I mean, we've seen those IDFE girls, though, right? I mean,
very attractive.
Trying to make us support Israel and stuff like that. And, you see some cake or something, you're like, I don't know. I mean,
no, but
it's making me to question my allegiance.
It's called being horny, Pine, if you're Catholic. But it's like, what do you call that? That feeling in your stomach when you see girls with nice boobs? It's called being horny, my friend. It's, I'm feeling it right now. Okay, hold it. All right. Speaking of that, I'm talking about you, Matt.
No, yeah.
Yeah, Matt's got it. Matt's a hot guy. No, but kind of like flipping it over, I do mean this genuinely. It is actually getting crazy. Yeah. Where it's like somebody had sexual relationships with a kid. I don't know if it was Trump or this is actually the real question. Is Trump correct? And it's there's got to be some truth to this, by the way. So I'm not trying to be a MAGA cultic person, but like clearly they did something in the files. I'm sure they did. I'm sure they implanted some serious dirt on somebody that's not true. We know this happens with everything. I'm not a Me Too guy. I don't believe all women. I believe no women. Can we get a round of applause for that? I'm just kidding. So we don't need a round of applause. But no, women do get hurt. They do get violated. There's real victims in this case. I'm going to say that, hey man, just tell us what's false. Just say, hey, page 2 and 6 were edited and audited in the last administration. Here's a previous metadata file search. You can see the edits were made here and re-uploaded. This is fake, and here's what we have. We're redacting these 2 pages because they're not real, and here's the evidence that there's no reason to release fake information. I'm okay with real forensics. I'm okay with real investigations. I just have to see the evidence, and from what I'm getting from these people, it's like it's not evidence. It's not forensics. They're covering for somebody, and why is it Lutnick? I'm just kidding. Tell me what you think.
Well, I don't really care who they're covering for. I just want the truth to come out, and I think that's what a lot of people are thinking right now. But obviously there is something sketchy going on between Israel and America when it comes to the Epstein files. Because why else? Why else would they cover it up? And in addition to that, why specifically is Trump so protective of it? Even if it has nothing to do with Trump on a personal level. I mean, this is a president who's clearly highly involved with Israel, very much an open Zionist. So that part of it's sketchy too. And I don't really even know if it has much to do with Trump on a personal level. I think just his involvement with Israel is enough for him to want to protect this list and employ some of his supporters in Congress to protect the list from coming
But look at this. Here's Mike Johnson directly in front of Congress saying, hey, we're just going to suspend the House, the entire vote, damn it, the entire vote, just because we want to protect Epstein. This is absolutely absurd. Watch. She is quiet for those listening. We can't hear what she's saying.
No, but I as you all know, I speak to the president multiple times a day on a typical day, often, always. And what I know about the president's heart on this is that he agrees with everything I've said here today. He wants maximum transparency, but he's also very insistent that we do not subject people who have already been victims of unspeakable crimes to further public scrutiny. And it would be a very dangerous thing to put those people's names out or to do a release of information in a way that is haphazard where they could be easily unmasked. And so you have to be very careful about how you do that. I think we have a moral responsibility to do that. We have a moral responsibility to expose the evil of Epstein, and everybody was involved in that. Absolutely. And we're resolved to do it. But we also have an equal moral responsibility to protect the innocent. And that is a fine needle to thread. And we could all give ourselves easy political cover and come out and do something in a haphazard fashion, but I would not be able to sleep at night because I know our legal responsibility. I understand what the legal standard is, but more than that, the moral standard, okay? So we're going to do this, and we're going to do it expeditiously. We're going to do it the right way. What is popular isn't always right, and what is right isn't always popular. At an 8th grade teacher told me that one time. I carried it with me.
Oh,
So many excuses.
This
The
guy's
eighth
so
grade
full
teacher.
of shit, isn't he?
yeah.
I mean,
That's ridiculous.
We saw it when he said he's going to do release all the J6 files.
Yeah.
And then he
Yes.
didn't. So at this point, like, why would anyone believe anything he says? Because every opportunity, he's like the slimy guy that goes on TV and just fucking gaslights you and lies to you over and over again. And even when you watch him speak, it's so obvious that this guy's lying.
Yeah.
Are you a liar or are you
No.
a truther?
No one's watching him going, oh yeah, I believe him. There's nothing believable about this
It
guy.
was so cringe when they put him on a pedestal
know.
right when they were trying to find a new speaker. Oh my goodness. And then they were like, it's Mega Mike. It's like, yeah, no thanks.
Can we just agree, Pine? I was already over today, You wake up, you're a guy, everyone and everything's against you, and you got to get your shit together. And you wake up and look down, you have this thing between your legs that's always talking to you and trying to get you to do stupid shit. And you're like, come on, man, shut up. You know what I mean? Shut up. Please. I'm trying to think with this head, not that one. And you get in the shower and you ignore him. You're Catholic. I'm not. But you put your hands here. You get your clothes on. Your kid spills shit on your clothes. Just go out like that. And you face the world. You get people calling you, people giving you shit. You give people shit. You got bills to pay, things to do. And you sit down and you go, you know what? At least I'm working so that 1/3 of my income can pay this stupid fucking asshole on TV to protect pedophiles. That's what all men think, right? With all that being said and done.
Absolutely.
It's the dream of a man.
It's the dream of a man to basically fund a pedophile supporter's salary. I mean,
Thank you.
when you're
That's what I thought today.
out there working, when you're out there breaking a sweat and stuff like that, I'm thinking, you know what? I want to enable someone who covers up for child abuse. That's my goal. That's my aspiration. That's why I work. That's why that's why I make any money I do make. Right. That's my desire as a guy. Well, and my 8th grade teacher told me that as well.
That was the stupidest.
That was the worst
shit.
one.
Sorry, I've been cursing a lot the last few days. It's like, dude, come on, man. Like, it's like, and as they say, I walked home uphill both ways in the snow. It's like, dude, what? We're quoting 8th grade teacher quotes to talk about pedophiles.
You don't do that?
Well,
Everybody does
A lot of
that.
8th grade teachers are pedophiles today.
True.
Some of which, it's true.
Well, it's kind of funny. It's like when the John Podesta emails came out, and it's like, dude, you don't like cheese pizza? What are you talking about? I mean, ever been to Chuck E. Cheese, right? Domino's? It's like they try to be so relatable, and they try to be down to earth, even when Mike Johnson made that little statement. But in reality, it's like they live in a completely different world than we live in. And I think that's part of the issue. There's such a disconnect, whether you're right wing, left wing, there's this mutual feeling of disconnect from the elites that rule over our society, right? I mean, that's why populism has been so popular, for lack of a better term. Whether it's Bernie, whether it's Trump, people want to feel like they are participating in their political elections and their leaders, and we're not getting that with the leaders we currently have. Instead, we're getting half-hearted, half-assed, kind of throwaway statements to try and seem like some country bumpkin, and I'm not interested in that.
Matt, that was honestly, that was actually insulting. It's like, we expeditiously want to help out the victims of the the giant Jewish child rape thing. And you're like, do ya, Mike?
I mean, this is an issue that obviously a lot of people care about, and they are trying to gaslight us. They're trying to memory hole this so that we forget it. And they've done this over and over again. I think COVID's the biggest example of that, is that 4 years after COVID, we're like, we don't even think about it anymore. It's like this butt of a joke, COVID. And they just tell us it's not a big deal, and they kind of move on, and they're hoping that we move on too. And I really think that this Epstein list debacle has to be a final stand. Because if we don't hold them accountable for this as something that we all believe to be true for the last 10 years of our lives, then what else are they going to do this to? If they're able to memory hold this issue, they will forever have the ability to control the narrative and change how we perceive the world. We cannot let this one go.
Well, listen to this. Massie, who, by the way, a lot of people have been critics of Massie, which has been quite interesting, to say the very least. And I feel like some of the criticisms are fair, because I like Massie. We follow each other online, which means we're basically in bed together.
Best
Not
friends.
exactly, not my type, but, he looks good for his age. He came out on the Capitol steps, and he said that basically these Epstein documents were non-binding. Right? You saw this? It's kind of crazy. And by the way, I was going to say, when I say it looks good for his age, he looks like he's not injecting stem cells from infant foreskins into his face like Ellen DeGeneres. But still, listen to this.
I was wondering, with the paralysis in the Rules Committee, it seems like they're not going to be meeting again today because of Epstein amendments. Have you chatted with anybody about that at this point?
Well, it wouldn't really matter. Their Epstein bill resolution is non-binding, so it's kind of fake. The resolution that I have co-sponsored with Ro Khanna would actually bring up legislation that would be binding on the president.
Is your understanding that that will ripen the day after lawmakers get back from August recess?
Yeah, unfortunately, we have 6 days and we needed 7 days for the discharge petition to ripen before we could bring this up before the August recess. So we'll have to bring it up after the August recess. But the good news is the Speaker has no interest in keeping us here one extra day.
Sounds like a guy who finds out that summer starts early, but at the same time is mad because it started early because his mom died, and they're letting the kids have an extra day to grieve. It's like, well, it's kind of cool. We're out of work. But at the same time, the reason why we're not here is because kids got raped by people that are still holding power in the United States. There's that, right? There's that caveat, right? It's like, oh, by the way, also, he's looking pretty good since his wife died, right?
He's looking really good. I would almost say he went from.
I meant that nicely too, because it's a tough life.
I would completely agree. I mean, he went from looking like my 8th grade teacher with like the glasses, unshaven, to he almost looks like Socrates or Plato now. If you see like a side profile of him, so
someone called him Mike Cerna, that bitch.
Yeah,
because he looks like Mike Cernovich, but he looks. I don't know. Do you like Mike? Do you think he's a faker like Cernovich thinks?
Not a big fan.
What do you think, man? What do you think? He looks good though. Since his wife died, he slimmed down and he. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, Massie. Do I like Massie?
Yeah, Massie.
I like Massie. I don't like this whole binder thing because we already have this negative kind of correlation to the first binder. So I don't know if he was attempting to troll us or troll the internet by doing a binder part 2. I don't think he needed to do that. If he just came out and gave a statement like, hey, they're going on vacation, this is bullshit. Oh, they should be back. Like, this is actually an important deal. That message would have been good enough to come up with a prop. I don't know. I could have done without the prop.
Yeah, I mean, it just comes across as very performative. And I like Massie. I think he's one of the few people who is real in Congress. And I just feel like the binder thing, it just, because, you deal with both sides. It's like, well, I don't really want to hear from the people who are, avid protectors of the Epstein list, but I also don't want the other side to turn it into some like performative thing for their own sake. Not that I necessarily think Massie's doing that, but yeah, I just don't. When it becomes a circus, that's when we have a real problem. And as it is, it already was a problem. Like, this shouldn't even be an argument. And I'm tired of the excuses of, oh, we're trying to protect the victims. Yeah, no, you're not. Because if you were really trying to protect the victims, you would release the list. Because I bet you right now, I mean, if you're a parent of somebody on that list, or you were, or you are somebody who was a victim of Epstein, like, I'm sure you at this point just want it released.
Right. And as we take a quick break from the main topic for a second, I want to remind you guys that crypto is making waves in traditional finance. As you know, there's a lot of scams out there. Someone did steal my account. I just got it back. That Elijah Schaefer's back. We did not make a Rift coin, but we're never going to make one of those. But there is real investment strategies you can take, by the way, with real companies, right? I invest in real stocks. There's real returns. And I've got something I think you'll find pretty compelling, especially if you're tracking how digital assets are reshaping business strategies. Now, you've likely heard about companies like MicroStrategy or Tesla adding Bitcoin to their balance sheets. This is a part of a Bitcoin treasury strategy where businesses hold crypto as a long-term store of value or a hedge against inflation instead of just cash. Now it's a significant shift in how companies manage their reserves. Here's where it gets interesting. Hyperbit Technologies, trading under HYPE in Canada and HYPAF in the USA, is carving out a unique path. Rather than simply buying Bitcoin, they're mining digital assets like Dogecoin, Litecoin, and others using high-efficiency renewable powered operations. By generating crypto as their core business, they've built a self-sustaining treasury model. They're not just speculating, they're deploying next-gen mining rigs and leveraging low-cost hydroelectric power to stay profitable. This positions them to hold, reinvest, or even use their crypto to fuel expansion. Now, for investors, Hyperbit offers a way to gain exposure to the crypto market without the hassle of managing wallets, keys, or even mining operations. They mine, buy, and even secure those digital assets, making them a diversified play in the space. The link's in the bio. All right, let's dive back in this. Don't forget, by the way, guys, we have a disclaimer in the bio. You should check it out. It talks a little bit about how investing is obviously risky. You're not always going to make money. You could lose money. And also the fact that no company guarantees a return. So make sure you read that before you invest. But a lot of you guys think it's a very interesting company and you like it. And apparently they're getting a lot of investors on the market right now because they keep buying more spots. And so obviously the company's growing. And so it's working, whatever they're doing. So good for them. Check it out there on the market. I want to play this real fast. Thomas Massie said he wanted to release 3 minutes. Or do we have this? Let me see. Oh, is it deleted now? Oh, it kind of is. Okay. I have no idea what happened. The file's gone. But 3 minutes after Massie said that he wanted to release phase 2 of the Epstein files, Trump put out a statement. This is what he said. He said this. Thomas Massie, the worst Republican congressman, and an almost guaranteed no vote each and every time, is an embarrassment to Kentucky. He looks like my lawyer, capitalizing embarrassment. He is a lazy, slow-moving, and totally disingenuous, a real loser. Never has anything positive to add. Looking for someone good to run against this guy, someone I can endorse and vigorously campaign for. So he's obviously not writing his tweets. He never used to write like this. This is not Trump. He's not writing these. I can tell you that right now. Doesn't sound like him. I don't know what handler he's got. They may or may not have a baseball cap on, but the back of their crown of their head may have a smaller hat on top. He's not writing his tweets, but also Elon Musk said that he might actually fund Thomas Massie. He might actually give him a lot of money, right? So we have a really interesting predicament here. I don't know what you guys think about this. Donald Trump's not writing his tweets. He's attacking Massie, who's actually America first. Not really I don't know what Massie's done for the country. What do you think about Massie? And 3, do you think that it's weird that all of a sudden Elon Musk is backing him? I know you have opinions on this guy. You have a lot to say. So
About Elon or Thomas Massie?
Elon and Thomas.
Well, I think Thomas Massie is interesting because he crushes his elections in his district. The people of Kentucky that vote for him really vote for him. And isn't the point of a congressman to represent the people that vote for you, not to represent the party or the president or the interest of anyone else? The role of a congressman is to represent the people and his constituents in Congress. So if the people in Kentucky want Thomas Massie, then how can Trump say he's doing a good thing or a bad thing? He's doing what that district wants. I think this idea that the congressman, like you vote for them and all of a sudden they represent the interests of the party and not for you individually is adamantly incorrect and wrong. We need congressmen that represent you. If I vote for a congressperson, I want that person to represent my interest, not the party's interest. They're there to represent me, not Trump. So I think that entire idea of what Trump is saying is incorrect because people of Kentucky actually want Thomas Massie there. That's why he wins over and over and over again. I had that same feeling about Marjorie Taylor Greene because I used to think like she's a little out there for me. I thought that. There was a time I thought that. And I went to a few Trump rallies during the campaign season and I saw how much people in northern Georgia love Marjorie Taylor Greene. She is doing exactly what the people that vote for her want her to do. And I was like, no, that's actually amazing. It's not if I agree with her. It's do the people she represents agree with her? Because if everyone had Congress people that represented their own personal interests and values, wouldn't we have a better Congress?
Yeah, I think that's the idea of like when you have a state like New York or these places, everyone's always like, Gavin Newsom's terrible. No, he very well represents the Californian people.
That's kind of what they want.
From California. He's
true.
He's a great representative. He's a great governor because he's governing his people. Not all Californians think that way, but like I'm from California. I know what Californians think, and Newsom governs the way that they want to be governed. Whether that means that his policies are good, I didn't say that, or whether or not he's someone I'd like to be my governor. But the fact that he's a good governor because he governs his people according to an elective process and the demands they make, it's actually good. And also, he's saving Orange County still from brown people. But I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. That's just what he does. That's just what Gavin Newsom does. He has cordoned off the southern Orange County from LA in one of the greatest forms of segregation I've ever seen. When you cross Santa Ana, or Costa Mesa right there on the 405, or even on the 5 freeway, it's crazy. The wealth disparity and the gap that just changes, right? The way things are managed. I know he had a big hand in that. But I do think with Massie, like, I don't know if I like Massie. Is Massie good? Like, I actually don't know anything he's ever done.
I mean, from my understanding, I don't know too much about Massie in regards to all of his policies or what have you. I know he's a more like libertarian figure within the Republican Party. That was kind of one of his main draws. But the thing that I really have loved about him and been supportive of is his criticism of Israel and funding Israel. And it seems like the Republican Party has tried to use that to sort of slander him, exit him out of the party, try to get him kicked out or what have you. And everyone is showing up in droves of support for him, right? His entire district loves him. People online love him. Like, he's one of the most popular, I'd say, figures in the Republican Party today. And I think that kind of touches on a larger problem that Matt actually explained very well there, where, if I elect someone, I want them to represent my interest, not the party's interest, right? And because we have a two-party system in America, this is the one thing that Europe kind of gets a little bit better than us. They have multiple parties. So if one party is not representing you, you can always shift to another, whereas we're in this funnel system. And it feels like even when our representatives have the right ideas, even when they have the right concepts, even when they want to do the right thing, they don't have the means of doing so because they have to appeal to sort of this mob within either the blue or the red side that they've chosen.
Yeah. Well, it's like kind of crazy. Like I had a rough night last night, right? I got like 3.5 hours of sleep, man.
Oh,
It's absolutely nuts. You know, I got 2 kids, like around two years old. I like got very, very little sleep. I'm very tired. But at the same time, you know, you got to get shit done. You got to do your life. And Massie had a wife who died, right? That's him, right? His wife died. So I kind of want to take that into account as well, right? But he's looking good. But it's like, I kind of get what Cernovich is saying. Like, what has Massie done? But also, what could Massie do? When you have a libertarian sort of mindset and a elected official who is not controlled by AIPAC, when you have Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's not controlled by AIPAC, who's not taking their dollars, there's like several of these people that exist in the entire United States government. So it's like kind of arbitrary to be like, well, you don't do anything. Well, it's like, hey, you ever been a white guy in Lake Worth? You ever been a white guy around people and you want them to quiet down? You don't say anything. Maybe he can't do anything.
No, well, and also, you know, Trump, his approach to all of this has really upset a lot of, I think, people on the right because of how obvious his hatred of Massie is in regards to his lack of loyalty to Trump, Massie's lack of loyalty to Trump. And it's like, what that tells you is Trump only cares about how much you're going to agree with him rather than, you know, what they're doing for their own constituents, to your point. And I think that with Massie, he's kind of a wild card in Trump's eyes. Trump can't control him. He can't be bought. Massie truly can't because he's not selling out to AIPAC. And everybody else is. And everybody else wants to suck up to Trump and wants Trump's approval. Massie's one of the few who he doesn't want to do that. And on top of that, he has consistently voted against foreign aid. And obviously that's a problem in particular as it pertains to Israel, because that's a country that backs Trump quite a bit. So I think he sees him as a wild card. And I think in addition to this particular issue, he's coming out against Massie because he actually sees him as an obstacle, and not necessarily Trump personally, but rather his admin and the people who are advising him. They see him as an obstacle in the way of getting their pro-Zionist agenda through. And that, again,
pro-Zionist? I mean,
Zionist.
Yeah,
you don't even have to say pro.
Trump is a Zionist. That's not controversial. Like, the point is, Trump is a Zionist. He is fighting for the Israeli state.
Well, and that's
doing.
why he wouldn't like Massie. It's not even just this issue in particular. It's just like he doesn't want people that are wild cards getting in the way of his agenda. And he is a wild card because he's not really sold out to anybody.
Yeah, Listen, I have a couple more pieces of information here for a second brought up here. So Thomas Massie obviously paired up with Representative, is it Kohana? I don't know.
Rokana?
Yeah, I don't know how to say it. But
he's from California, no?
Yeah, it doesn't sound like doesn't sound very American. Doesn't sound very American at all. That's all I'm going to say here. But he actually agreed with Massie. Listen to this.
So Thomas Massie is saying tonight that if the House closes up for the summer without this vote, it's just going to get worse in September. What is the state of play in this breaking news situation right now tonight on your discharge petition?
Well, more and more Republicans are joining the call for a discharge petition, but the Speaker is not willing to have a vote. You know, let's just speak plainly, because we use all these complex words, discharge petition. Sometimes I think Congress is sort of a priesthood, which uses obscure and arcane language to confuse the American people. Here's the bottom line. There's the majority of the Congress that has the votes to release the Epstein files. We have a majority of the votes. And the problem is that we're not having a vote. And that's the dirty secret in Washington. It's not how you vote. It's that most of these things never come up for a vote. And all a discharge petition is saying is that the majority, if they sign something, will demand and be able to get a vote on something that we know is going to pass. And the reality is that Mike Johnson is trying to recess the Congress because there's this arcane rule that the bill has to be there for 7 days before you can actually get all the signatures. And it's been there for about 4 days. So he wants to adjourn us so that we can wait till after Labor Day to get the signatures and have this vote. It's the worst kind of gamesmanship, but the American people are going to see through it.
All right. So By the way, someone also said throw an Alpen, and I'm going to do that right now. I'm throwing an Alpen. I need to get a discount code for them. It wakes me up every time.
What flavor is that, and what?
It's the
that's
refreshing
20.
chill.
I feel like a drug addict. I'm like, what flavor is that?
Well,
You're like scratching.
How many
your neck a
milligrams
little
is
bit.
I feel like this entire show is like, hi, my name is Elijah Schaefer. I'm an alcoholic drug addict. Hi, Elijah. Now introducing Anna. My name's Anna. But that is this entire show. No, but this is Alp. We're not sponsored by them, but Alp does perk me up. I actually was like laughing. We were like eating a Chick-fil-A in there before the show, and I was like, feel like I was falling into like the desk, like you know that feeling when you're like eating. I was like, I ate a chicken strip, and I noticed myself doing this, and I was like, oh shit. But no, jokes aside, listen, I'm woken up now from the legal perk, we call it, right? You put it in
Actually,
your
I
gum.
kind of want one now.
The
Are you
lip pillow.
serious?
Yeah.
Tucker calls it a lip pillow.
Yeah, it's literally
A lip pillow. I like that.
it's literally a legal perk. It like perks you, literally perks you up, but not like a
Can you
Percocet.
not put the camera on me when I'm doing
Zoom in.
when I'm doing drugs? Do not zoom in on me, please. Okay, right.
It's such good stuff. All right, so Ro Khanna comes in, very American name, Khanna, whatever. We love Indians and Pakistanis living in our country. It's fantastic. It's a really, really, really good thing. The more of them we have in here, the better. In fact, they should be the governor of Ohio. It's so good. We actually hired our first Indian actually here at Rift, which is fantastic. Shout out to the Wignats. We're really making you guys all feel better. Just to his chagrin, though, we were at Mike's 1-year Mendoza Report party at his house, which you guys saw in Discord, is 1 year of the MendozaReport.com. And within about 2 minutes, Hennessy said that he had taken his shoes off, our Indian team member, and had his shoes off in 2 minutes, barefoot. So we got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of work to do. All right. So my hatred for India aside, obviously we love them. It's YouTube. We want more Indians. We're not going to stop till the West becomes Indian. I feel like this is all just theatrics. We're not going to get the files. We're not going to get anything that they don't want. I don't even want to read the rest of the proofs here in the evidence. It's just like, we're not going to win. We're not going to get this. If we get more documents, it's going to be like the JFK or the MLK files. Was like, wow, we found an index board with some stars that the CIA said, people get if they do good in the office. You're like, that's nothing to do with what we want, brother. People were molested and raped. We want to know who did that. And they can't seem to find it out. And I also found out today that they said that actually all of the hundreds of gigs of files today were actually just commercial pornography and not actual footage from the CCTV. That's all I was going to say. That's what they said today.
That makes sense. I mean, if they say it, that means it's true, right? Because
Correct.
they have no reason to cover it up. They have no reason to make it go away. It's just that simple. Why are we, it's like Trump said, why are we still asking about this, right? Let's focus on something else. I mean, these people really think we are that stupid that they're going to just fly these like narratives by us or these like easy get outs. And we're going to just sit on our hands and be like, oh, okay, well, whatever. I guess Epstein actually wasn't guilty and he, didn't lead to all those young girls getting, raped and stuff like that. But in actuality, the heat is on. And I think that the longer we kind of put up the pressure, the longer we kind of turn up the heat, they start to look more and more foolish when they say these things, right? I mean, Trump calling the Epstein files or whatever, basically, what did he say, an Obama hoax, right? That makes no sense. That makes absolutely no sense. And especially when you've campaigned on releasing these files for quite some time now. So the longer we apply this pressure, the more length they're kind of like running out of, and kind of the more rope they've hung themselves with at this point with the narrative that they're selling.
What if they hung themselves not with a rope, but with a sheet in their jail cell?
Oh, that's
right?
true.
That's my question. I don't know if you guys have any conclusions on this. I hate talking about Epstein now. You know what they're doing? I'm getting psyoped by them.
You can't stop.
I hate it.
You can't stop. Because once you stop, they're going to get away with it. They're going to forget about it. We're all going to move on with our lives. They're going to do other things. And they're going to do it again.
They want to give you
cannot let this go.
That's true.
You
Yeah.
just got to do it. There's no choice in this matter. That's the problem.
They want to
with this.
give us Epstein fatigue so that we feel that way and we stop talking about it. And honestly, that's the only hope they have. That's the only thing they're banking on, because they can only keep up this whole hiding thing for so long. And they're going to give a new update. It's going to be like, oh, well, we're going to keep looking into it, but we're not going to release it yet. And then eventually we're going to just one day stop talking about it just like they want.
Yeah, well, a couple of the super chats for a air horn, $5. Bloodshot 567 said, it's just, everything's just racism on this app. And I love it. But did you guys see the new Hermes video? Lol. And it's just 7 minutes of Hermes being racist to black people in Spain. He's in Spain now, by the way. That's actually crazy. Wow. It's just him being racist to black people in Spain, which, by the way, I'm not even supporting or going against. It's just what it is, right? So if you're like that, check out his video. We do love him. He's quite a funny guy. On top of that, Randall Flagg sent $2. He gets an air horn, by the way, in the future. He sends $2 every night. Rumor was MS-13 kidnapped Anna as a war bride and took her to El Salvador. I was ready to form a gang of right-wing edgelord retards to save Anna. Sorry, Elijah. I already sold this IP to Sam Hyde. This guy's obsessed with you.
Yeah, I don't know what to do about that.
Say thank you.
I think he just wanted to see.
True, yes. Thank you for the money. Keep sending it.
Farm friend Groiper sent $10 in the chat. Said, actually, California banned the use of herbicides containing atrazine before Alex Jones said atrazine is turning the frogs gay. Atrazine is approved for use in Florida. Lane gang. Yeah, as if California follows any of its own guidelines. I feel like that face I get a lot of people where they tell me about California. You're like, well, California said drugs are illegal. Do you know it's illegal for black people to kill each other too? It's like, yeah, okay. Well, it doesn't really matter. Like, it's like, am I wrong on that? It's like, these people don't follow the law. They don't follow rules. Politicians don't follow laws. They don't follow rules. And also, by the way, some of you in the chat were saying, like, I'm always louder than people. It's because I am mic trained. And so I'm always, like, right up in my mic talking to you guys, like, lips on the mic. And everyone's always back here. And it does sound quieter when you're back here. It's just the direction that they speak into the mic. It's just the way they like to speak. So these mics work, right? By the way. No, but people in the chat keep saying like, oh, he's quieter, he's louder. It's like, it's just where you stand to speak into your mic. That being said, it's like, I just speak into my mic to make a point. Scribbity-doo Toilet 915 said, yo, Poppy, what's good to you? I think that was to you, to Pinesap.
Oh, nice. Well, hey,
Very
what's
odd.
good?
Very odd. $20 super chat. Let's get it. Getting a confetti, some cheers, some love. Said, it's Crazy Fool 702 said, remember Thomas Massie has a master's degree in electrical engineering from MIT. He's no dummy, and that means a lot to me. We also got another $2 from Randall Flagg. Said, speaking of nicotine pouches and Jeets, turns out the cheap Zen knockoff Tucker is trying to peddle is actually just rebranded gas station trash from India, common CIAL.
Oh, I did find out about that the other day. That is shocking.
Well, I'm doing 20 milligram oxys, as someone said, not that. So thank you very much. Also in the chat on YouTube, we got a couple super chats. Let's go. For $5 super chat from Mary J. Bulge. Says, I'm a Hebrew woman, now Catholic, and I support Pinesap.
Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Well, and it's really beautiful, actually, when the cheers just going on and on and on. It is. I've had the pleasure of meeting a lot of people who have come from a Jewish background and have since become Catholic and stuff like that. And quite frankly, they make some of the most beautiful Catholics that I've ever seen, because I think that they're able to kind of draw from their background and experience, find that like typology from the Old Testament and see how like the faith fulfills it, So it's like all the symbols, everything going on, in the Old Testament, you're like, this is how the church is the continuation of that. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
He's fired. I'm just totally joking.
I was going to say,
I'm
what
not
did I do?
I'm not a Catholic. I have no idea what you guys want. I just didn't know it was like a daycare for Jewish people.
Well, I mean, hey, people got to be somewhere.
I'm messing with you.
I know.
I agree with you on that the ultimate goal should be in the world to convert people to follow Christ.
Amen.
And that the redemption of souls even goes to the synagogue of Satan. And it's very important that we preach Christ crucified above all else. And also, it's just like, man, I have plenty of Jewish friends that are out there. Mike's Jewish, Anna's Jewish, I'm Jewish.
Oh my gosh. If you say that, people are going to actually think you're serious.
Well, before the show, you were
what
serious.
You said before.
Yeah.
No.
You're going to make one of those
Oh my
Facebook.
gosh.
Now,
Everybody's
did she not tell us?
I'm pretty sure she said before the show,
grew up
I'm Jewish, just don't tell anybody.
She said her dad was
No,
Jewish,
my
not her
gosh.
mom, so she's not
For the
ethnically
record,
Jewish.
I never
Cuban
said
Jew.
any of this.
But
Just
she
letting
said
I
her-
was telling them that there's a lot of Cuban Jews, and if you look around,
Jubin, that's what you call
Yeah,
it. You said I'm
they're-
Jubin.
Oh, she literally
So
was
you're
like,
Cuban
she
now. I
don't know.
literally celebrates
Wow,
Shabbat
it's so
with Charlie
over.
Kirk.
It's so over.
She literally goes
If
to the
I were
Shabbat dinner at
Jewish,
Turning Point
Elijah would
USA.
not have hired me.
Oh my gosh!
Wow. Are you allowed to do
If
that?
you ask the Wignats, we're a Jewish organization that's run by brown Catholics. So please just stick with it, okay?
No,
So-
I'm trying to. I'm Joey's wing woman, and I asked him what his type was, and he said he wanted a Jewish woman.
Yeah, that sounds
Hey.
like Joey.
So-
that
That
sounds
makes
like
sense.
A
I
black
get it.
Jewish woman is what he said. Actually,
Joey is into black Jews. That's actually a truthful statement. You know, my energy's coming back right now. And that's kind of crazy. I was like, I have so many guns in the office that I thought, like, you know, you ever see someone and you like feel like you get along and you look at a gun on the table, like, nice.
Someone said I'm tearing down my Anna posters now. No, do not tear down your Anna posters.
Yeah.
I am not Jewish.
Well, just make sure you put a Star of David on them. And what's that little thing? Do you know that this place? So this obviously everyone knows this is not a joke. This is not even a joke. This was the previous administrative offices for the Holocaust Memorial Museum. This is what this office space. That's what we're in, by the way. That's really what this is, and that's the people that are here before us. But on the door going out, we had a painting.
Here?
Yeah, this was the previous.
Shut up.
I'm not
Did
joking.
you pick it on purpose?
Wow.
No,
It just worked out
and
that way?
and it's so Jewish.
is funny,
that
ain't it?
there's the there's the
irony
what's
of
the thing,
life.
Mike? That's on the door. There was one of those things. What is that thing that was on the door?
A mezuzah.
A mezuzah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a mezuzah
yeah.
on the door here when we moved in, or like the remnants of it, and you can see the drill holes and like what it was.
Yeah.
So, also called drilling holes. It's also called an average 21-year-old IDF female soldier. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. Helio for 9.99 cent. What's funny is that left versus right, and everyone in the middle wants the Epstein files to be released. Very nice grammar. Ironically, all those that want to not and to forgot. Dude, this is not good English, brother.
Is that your lawyer?
About it are all the Zionists. Israel? Bro, how? I thought I was tired. Are you fucking wasted, bro? What the hell does that mean?
Is your lawyer super chatting the show?
Yeah.
now?
What's funny is the left, right, and everyone in the middle wants the Epstein files to be released. Ironically, all those that want to, it's not, and to forgot about it are all the Zionists. Israel?
Could you zoom in on that chat?
That's not a joke, by the way.
That's insane.
And what's going on with the likes on it?
It is real.
I love the emoji at the end
It's
too, like the
going.
inquisitive.
It's going.
Is real. It's not
It's,
even-
re- it's real.
It's not even that. All right. That being said, all right, going down a couple more super chats here. $2 super chat said, "Hey Pine, call what the hell? Okay, come on. Stop that. Hope you're doing okay, man." And down here, I don't think we have any more super chats right there. That was just we got one from Canada. Hello to Pinesap from Catholic Quebecois, is what you said, right?
Quebecois.
Mentioning it because Elijah will have a stroke reading it. I think I did fine.
You actually did a really good job, I would say.
Yeah. I know the Quebecois. I actually, don't you guys speak English and French? Isn't that what it is?
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm not from Quebec, but what I understand is that they speak English and French. And it's funny because actually, Quebec is kind of a controversial like area in Canada. It influences like a lot of the politics. It's a huge part of the voting base, and it makes French. I remember it makes like learning French kind of compulsory in school. So there's a huge kind of controversy over like subjecting the rest of Canada, which used to be majority kind of like English and stuff. Now now it's a mix of different immigration coming in, but subjecting all of them to basically learning French just because this one region learns French. However, despite Quebec being controversial for that reason, it used to be an incredible place. I mean, before what was called the Silent Revolution, it was incredibly faithful, incredibly devout, just a lot of great Christians and Catholics in that entire region. And it kind of defined all of Canada at that point as a really faithful spot. But nowadays it's not looking up as well.
Also, I think it's the origin of the term language police, if I'm not mistaken, because to my understanding, like any sign that's in Quebec has to have a certain ratio of French to English. And I also think that when there's like consumer packaged goods, the reason why French is like a predominant language, even though we're nowhere near France, is because of Quebec. I actually have some ancestry from Quebec too, not like very closely tied to it, but as everyone knows, I'm just Mexican, so just don't mind me.
Just one last chat real fast. I really do love the chats. Appreciate you guys. Skibbity Toilet 915 said, "Update on my CDL job. HR called me back, so they'll take a look at my SAP documents. I still filed for unemployment. F them. I probably wouldn't talk about your employers while you're trying to get your job back. sensitive topic in the room. Crazyfool 702 sent $10. Said, did that guy just say compulsory?
Oh, I think I did. Yeah, I probably butchered the word, but yeah, it's required. That's a better word. It's required,
And real fast, just to reiterate, because we don't want Jewish conspiracies, Leonardo Joni just updated her exposing of Sarah Stock, which we like to bring up on the show, by the way. It's very, very
We need to
serious.
see this.
So this guy, Litoria, sorry, I didn't read that right.
Oh, wait, this is the balding alt-right guy that has the Elvis haircut.
Wait, what?
Wait,
Yeah. Okay, so there's this party called the National Justice.
this guy.
He's the NJP guy. So he comes up and he's got his big old gorilla chest and he's like, National Justice now. And he
Yeah, I
like
remember
presses
that.
his chest
I
out like
remember
that.
He said, Sarah Stock was doing pro-Israel propaganda for Ezra Levant as recently as last year. The question is, are these people trying to infiltrate silly bullshit into the pro-white conversation still on Levant's payroll? And Leonardo Joni, this is the longest funny shit that's just going on. What is this? What a surprising turn of events. Color me shocked. There's no way the opposition has seen itself losing control of the narrative and has inserted individuals into our ranks to do crazy shit and make the movement look illegitimate. That never happens. I just like to say I will always defend every employee of this company, and I will always get their backs. And if I'm not going to defend them, then I'll fire them, which I would rarely do. Let's just say this. To clarify to the Wignats, Sarah Stock does not work at Rebel. In fact, she was a behind-the-scenes person, and she did work for a Zionist network. She was let go. That's all I'll say. They no longer work together. I'll let her talk about her own life story, but she doesn't work there. Somebody prominent in the movement, who I won't mention as well, who not mentioned, called me through Mike Mendoza and said, hey, this person got fired for Christianity or whatever you want to say. I'll just leave it very, very vague. Ezra Levant doesn't like people who are pro-white, pro-Christian, etc. And so Sarah left the company because of her pro-white, pro-Christian ideas. It was not amicable. It was not good. And, she's not allowed to talk about any of this stuff, I'm sure. But I'm telling you, I hired her. She had no following on any platform. And then when she started working for us, she went on Jubilee. She went on a couple other very big shows. And it's literally as easy as growing people as just being a woman with blonde hair. It's literally it. She had 34 followers on Instagram. And we went, hey, let's work on your Instagram. Joey made some reels. We tagged her on a very large profile. She gained 10,000 followers in 24 hours. And then, it's all her work, but meaning it's crazy. It's crazy what people can do when they work together and they all help each other. It's crazy. You can raise $30,000 when people work together. It's crazy. It's not all a conspiracy. It's not all a plant. And I just want to put that to rest. Sarah Stock is an employee of this network. She's not some infiltrator and some person. I will never say the network endorses all the ideas, thoughts, and statements from every employee. They can say whatever the hell they want. I don't care. I don't agree with everything they say, and I don't care either. People try to text me all the time to police her, Kai, everyone on the network. Well, they said this, they said that. And honestly, if you're trying to police people here, fuck you. I don't care. Everyone who works here can say whatever they want at any point in time. Is it wise? Is it good? Well, they can figure that out themselves. But she's definitely not working for the CIA. She is, however, on payroll as level 2 associate of the Mossad. I just want to clarify that. Department B, Los Angeles Division. So that's true. But other than that, I just wanted to clarify. All right, moving on. Because I don't know what this is. Why? Do you know who Sarah Stock is? Have you heard of her?
She sounds like a psyop to me. So I don't exactly know what to say. Everything you said, this kind of long rant to protect her, just seems like she's actually been infiltrated. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. If anything, I don't even know who she is.
She works here. She's my employee.
But now I feel like she's even more Mossad. So I don't know what to tell you, man. I can't help you there, bro.
Sarah Mossad Stock is her middle name. She's not actually, don't confuse that with Mossad itself. That's just her middle name. Her parents named her that. They're Canadian. No,
What a beautiful middle name.
She's just an employee here who makes content and literally, I mean, that's not helping because everyone says I'm a plant too.
No, it's just insane. They'll say that about everybody at some point. At some point, you're just going to get that in your career. And it might be small, it might be big, it might be a big attack on you. But to say that about Sarah's hilarious because it's everybody changes their opinions, especially when they're young. She's 21 years old, okay? Give her a break, okay? When she was 19, maybe she, didn't really understand the conflict as well as she does now. That's also a possibility. I don't understand people who just jump on everything like that.
You guys sound like Trump defending the Epstein list. It sounds like.
No.
Like, oh no, you guys are, it's a hoax.
Never.
It's a hoax, guys.
So she's actually my employee, and she works for this company. And all I'm telling people is like, she doesn't work for Mossad. She works for me, and I have a history of helping people grow their careers. That's literally what I'm good at doing. Not good at growing my own, but I'm good at helping people. And so everyone at this network has worked very hard to help Sarah to get where she's at. I've probably done the least amount of work myself, really just put it all on Joey and the rest of the team and Hennessy and whatnot, and Sam and the people that have been helping her with her content. She does it herself. She grows herself. We're not saying it's anyone's credit, but this is why we started Rift, is because it's people just don't even remember that networks can help young people grow. Like that's like literally insane. And Jubilee can literally make people trending on Twitter. No one here would know about that at all, I'm sure. But I just, yeah, it's like someone said her name is Sarah Mastock. It's like she just works for this company, and we have millions of followers, and that can help people grow. So
She's
that's
just a really good spy. Joins in, and then you do all the work for her. She's actually really good at her job.
She doesn't even have
Good job, Sarah.
She doesn't have to lift her finger. I get it.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
All you gotta do is join. They're gonna grow you anyway. Just come on in.
That's true. That's true. You know, it's interesting because I think in this space, we all reach a point where we kind of become like red pilled, or we maybe reach kind of a juncture where, you know, Con Inc. is no longer the side or the faction we're a part of, and we get canceled as a result. And I think that's always where the accusations of, oh, someone's a plant, someone's a Fed, someone's all these different things kind of comes from. But really, I think instead what it is it's organic growth, right? Con Inc. is not, you know, maintaining the kind of control over politics like they used to 2016, 2017, when we were, you know, all watching the Rebel News. I mean, who watches that anymore, right? Like Gen X people.
Gavin was on it.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, they lost everybody in that era that like defined that network. And now, I mean, the cool people are here, right? Like the cool people are here. Like we're having real conversations, and you know, it's not 2016, oh, we're going to offend the woke SJWs anymore, right? So I think there's a legitimate growth that goes on in many of our careers, and we learn new things that make us kind of shift further to the right or make us grow out of that kind of Con Inc. bubble.
Someone else said Elijah is the least gay guy on this show, and his guests write books on masculinity. And someone else said, Matt Kim fans, what's good? Good episode of a show to start with. I want to add that to you. That was someone sent a super chat in. What's a good episode to start with?
There we go.
Thank you.
What's a good episode?
Oh, fuck. Watch the Epstein one, the most recent one.
All right. Someone else said Anna's real name is Anna Sephardi. Also, Real Rain 89 said Anna, a mid-Latina plant to corrupt BBL-obsessed white boys. That's where I'm sorry.
What the hell?
That's all. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. Sorry, they paid for that, so we had to move on. Okay, moving on here. I want to talk about this. So, Matt Gaetz. Let's talk about Matt Gaetz a little bit. Matt Gaetz and Mike Huckabee have kind of come across as a counter signaling. Would you call that to the Israeli regime? In a surprising upset, right? Mike Huckabee has said that they're denying visas to Christians. That's a very thing we'll talk about here a little bit, but Israeli treatment of Christians. But in between Botox treatments, which is interesting, Matt Gaetz, who's a friend of the show, and I like him, I just don't know. I don't get this, you know? I don't get that. I don't understand it for men. He claims that actually the Israeli government is spying on Christians. I want to bring this up because everyone at the table here at least identifies somewhat as a Christian. Some say they're Catholic, some say they're Protestant. It's okay. Tonight, you're allowed to be something different than Catholic. We found out. That's a possibility. Let's go ahead and let's listen to what he had to say.
Evangelical Christians love Israel. It's a land with a 4,000-year connection to our faith. But with the current erratic spasms of the Netanyahu government, the love may be unrequited. Is Israel an unwelcoming place for Christians? A new look into correspondence between U.S. Ambassador Mike Huckabee and the Israeli government raises questions about whether Christians are being mistreated by Israel. Huckabee alleges that's what's happening. The ambassador sent a letter to the Israeli interior minister accusing Israel of blocking Christian groups from entering the country. As a private citizen, Governor Huckabee personally led Zionist Christians on such tours. Now, Ambassador Huckabee initially met with the government of Israel to plead for the Christians who wanted to come and enjoy the Holy Land. But those pleas were ignored. Now Huckabee is threatening reciprocal punishment against Israel and their visa seekers wanting to come to America. He cited harassment and negative treatment of Christian groups. The nerve of Israel to demand America's weapons and money, but then refuse our touring Christians is astounding. About 3 billion people on the planet Earth tie their faith to the geography around Israel. And I believe everyone needs a little more of the golden rule. Treat others as you would want to be treated. Some will criticize this segment and say that the problem of Christians being harassed in or by Israel is overblown. But it's not me saying it. It's Ambassador Huckabee. Is Ambassador Huckabee an anti-Semite now because he's criticizing the government of Israel? Of course he isn't. I wonder if any voices inside the Israeli government have spoken about Christians being harassed or harmed. Here's Isaac Herzog, the president of Israel in 2023.
In recent months, we've seen very serious phenomena towards the Christian denominations in the Holy Land. Our brothers and sisters, Christian citizens, feel attacked in their places of prayer, in their cemeteries, and on the streets.
Christians in Jerusalem's Old City say they are often harassed, spit on, and even physically attacked by religious Jewish youth.
I view this phenomenon as extreme and unacceptable in any shape or form. This phenomenon needs to be uprooted.
Earlier incidents include the desecration of a Protestant cemetery on Mount Zion, an attack on international Christians during a day of prayer for Jerusalem, and harassment at a Messianic concert in Jerusalem.
We must respect the members of all religions. We've committed to this since the dawn of our existence. This is the most basic commandment of love your neighbor as yourself.
Since that speech, I'm not sure if things have gotten much better for Christians. According to the Times of Israel, quote, Huckabee said he would warn American Christians that their donations are not received warmly and that tourists should reconsider any plans to visit Israel if the issue is not resolved. Listen to Ambassador Huckabee closely. He's threatening this messaging: boycott your next trip to Israel, divest from groups sending donations to Israel, and sanction Israel by denying visas to their citizens who want to come to the United States. In just a few years, we've gone from Ambassador Huckabee leading Zionist Christian tour groups in Israel to threatening to lead the BDS movement, the boycott, divest, and sanction movement. Congress has passed about a gazillion BDS resolutions, all at the urging of AIPAC. Will AIPAC now target Ambassador Huckabee? Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene blew the whistle on AIPAC on this program with Vish Burra.
I think organizations like AIPAC and Christians United for Israel should register under the law as foreign agents because they are lobbying on behalf of Israel.
Also unresolved tonight is an investigation into the killing of Saif Moussalet. He was an American born in Florida. He was surrounded for 3 hours and beaten to death. There's no suggestion that he provoked the attack or that this was in any way in self-defense. The Times of Israel also took note of our coverage on this program. What the Times pays close attention to is the shift in how right-aligned media covers Israel. It would have been unheard of to have Israel as such a driving force for division just 10 years ago. Now, it doesn't seem Israel likes the criticism. So some who aren't intelligent enough to speak about these issues with nuance simply say that any criticism of the government of Israel is anti-Semitic. That's stupid people talk. It isn't anti-Semitic to criticize the government of Israel any more than it isn't anti-American to say that Biden's presidency was a silver alert. It seems Israel's goodwill with the world has eroded very meaningfully. Christians blocked from the United States, Americans murdered in Judea and Samaria. We don't think it's a tenable position for Israel to say to our fellow countrymen, send us your money, send us your weapons, but don't send us your Christian tour groups or Arab Americans who want to visit family without being beaten to death.
Coming back in. So I watched this clip several times, actually, because I am obsessed with this topic. No, I know Matt Gaetz. He's been on the show several times. And I know what these guys are doing. I think it's really smart. Let's talk about this tactic of trying to get Christians on board with this reminder that Jewish people are not your friends and that Israel's not your friends. I was with a guest on the show. We went out to grab some food. This was a single guy, by the way, so it's fine that he was hitting on girls. And very clear, I have a wedding ring on. Some girl tried to talk to me. She was Jewish. She had a Star of David on. That's most people in the city. I was very rude to her to tell her to please go away. You know, I told her I was an anti-Semitic racist podcast host. And I didn't want to talk to her. And for some reason, she got more interested in talking to me. And when I said I have a wedding ring on, she was more interested in saying hello.
Oh, no.
These women are terrible. This is why we need to bring back public hangings. But until we get that, Matt Walsh, we'll be more reasonable and say, this is a very interesting group of people who clearly don't have any scruples. They are definitely not a moral people. Christians, for some reason, love them. They killed God. You know, I don't think he called himself the King of the Jews. That was a Roman inscription, from my understanding. It was something to be meant for mockery, not necessarily to inscribe to say that he was the king. He's the king. He's the King of Kings. That's what it says, the Lord of Lords, right? He's the King of all mankind, right? And of everything living and dead. He literally is the king of all things. It is interesting that you have Mike Huckabee and Matt Gaetz now coming together, you know, collectively and saying, hey, we are not anti-Israel, although I think Matt Gaetz is. But you don't think so? What do you think? They're saying that they are persecuting Christians. Matt, you're here. You're never here. I want to hear your thoughts. This is an interesting approach. Well, it's happening.
Do you believe Matt Gaetz? And you said you know him.
Okay.
Right?
Keep going. Cook.
Because I don't hate Matt Gaetz, but I feel like he's someone that follows the trend of what people want. And, you know, he's got a new show. He's trying to get attention. And I think the fact that he's going this direction is just that the country and the people on the right are actually looking for this type of content. So he's leaning into it. I don't know if he's this, I'm going to be this anti-Israel guy. I don't feel that, but maybe you've met him before. I don't know him that well. So maybe that's different.
I don't know him that well.
But I feel like there's a trend here where there's a lot of people trying to jump on the bandwagon of, hey, Israel bad. But they weren't on this earlier. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. He's not in Congress anymore. So it's like, what good is it?
He just wants to click some views, and people are clicking this right now.
Well, it's not to mention, too, I would completely agree with that, because we see like Dave Smith, right, at like Turning Point USA doing that debate over Israel. And we even saw the recent confrontation between Candace Owens and Nick when she interviewed Nick, and it was an ambush. I mean, she was trying to make Nick look bad. She was trying to distance herself. And she's like, oh, hey, I might criticize Israel or what have you, but I'm not like this crazy, evil, you know, Nazi guy over here, right? And I think that in some ways, the right understands, or at least Con Inc. understands, that this is becoming a very popular topic, right? But they want to control the conversation. So in that way, I think Matt Gaetz is kind of joining in on that bandwagon. He knows there's a lot of money in it. And so he'll kind of shift the conversation that way and be more open and honest about the persecution of Christians going on within Israel.
Or is it possible that people are actually more extremist than they lay out? And because we know that there's actually an invisible wall that we're not allowed to cross, people are starting to self-censor themselves.
There's a physical wall, too, that people hump. You know what I mean?
Right.
So there's both invisible and visible. Dude, I'm going to go with the latter. So here's what I think.
Because we hear that a lot. It's not all the Jews. It's just the Israel part. Like, that's a really common thing to say right now.
But it's like,
really popular.
Dude, people know. Okay, so let's use a different example than Jews, right? Because let's use a different example. You know? There's a girl in the room, so we already have to change our rhetoric, but I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean this. It's like there's always, let's for the sake of this, let's talk about women, okay? And let's see if we can relate this. There's a girl in the room, so you're automatically going to adjust your speech. I mean, obviously we're live, so we probably should anyways, but I have no filter. Girl in the room, you know, and we all know. I've already been through enough lawsuits myself. I reiterate, I won them all. Fuck you all. But at the same time, it was annoying. They used a Jewish lawyer. I represented myself. I'm represented by God. I don't need Jews to save me. But here's the deal. They went after Jewish people. And I mentioned on the show, I was one of the first people I know that's been sued for anti-Semitism. I was sued for anti-Semitism. Like I said I was anti-Semitic. I said I was antiseptic. It's a big difference. One of them is good. One of them is also good. You know, you go through this thing, I was in high school. I dressed up as the ghost of Christmas past who liked to party, which was a Gossamer ghost costume that was a white hood that cut out eyes in, and I put a party hat underneath for Halloween. My friend dressed up as a coal miner, which put soot all over their face and had chains because he was a dead coal miner. And I walked my coal miner friend around in my Gossamer ghost costume. And I got socked in the face by a Lake Worth citizen. And I got called to the office. I already got expelled from my first high school. And I got told, this is a very old story I've mentioned many times on the show, but got talked in like, what the hell is this? You know, take off your hood. And there's a party hat underneath because I like to party. Nothing's changed since then. And the principal said, you crossed the line. And I was a smart ass. And I said, no, I just knew that the line was elastic. So I bent down, grabbed the line and bent it further than anyone's ever gone, but I'm still behind it. Basically, I know what the hell I'm doing, brother. Back off. He hadn't talked to a non-65 IQ Mexican at his high school ever. So I was like, he's like, wow, this is crazy. Welcome to LA. And I was only at a public school because I got expelled from my private institution. And, I was there and I was around there. And then I got into politics because I believed Alex Jones, I believed the radicalization. And what got me into to politics was the anti-white ideology. On top of that, what got me into like political media was being discriminated against from being white. So I was pro-white. But then I met with Glenn Beck, and Glenn Beck was like, hey, you want a job here? We met in LA. You're not a white identitarian, are you? You're not white. You're not about that white stuff. And I'm not stupid. It's like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Yes, working at McDonald's. I just love cheeseburgers. I really want this job. Why do you want this job? You don't say, because I fucking need to pay my rent. You go, because I just think cheeseburgers and Happy Meals have changed the world, Ronald. That's what you say. Right? That's what you say. So it's like, you're getting like, no, those people are bad. And I played the game, I played the grift. I played it. I did what I needed to do.
So you just called Matt Gaetz grifter.
That's what it is. Well, it's playing the game. Yeah. No. It's playing the game. It's because a grifter doesn't believe what they're saying. I'm saying he believes more than what he's saying. And a lot of people just didn't get out of it. And for me, I got pushed out of it. I tried to break out of it. I invited Fuentes on my shows. I did things to signal to people like, hey, I know. And I can tell you, all these people know, just like I'm saying with women, using the women as an example, we all know about women. But it's like my joke. It's like, what do you tell a woman? You're an irrational bitch. That's how you win a fight. That's not going to work, buddy. You still need to apologize, okay? And you need to just accept that you don't know. You accept you're wrong, even if you're right. When it comes to this question on race realism, like, dude, Koreans are better than the other Asians. Just true.
It's true.
Yeah, it's true. It's just true.
I can kind of second that.
It's just the North Koreans are cut off from the entire world and they're fine. Okay?
They're alive.
They're alive. I'm just saying. And they don't have iPhones, but somehow they're still making it. Anyways, I love their songs. I love their national anthem, all that weird shit. But my point is that, hey, everybody knows that there are certain people from certain genetic backgrounds that are better than others. Everybody knows that there is a group of people controlling everything and they need to go. The question is, how do you do that while still paying for your Beverly Hills penthouse? How do you do that while still paying for your DC fucking, brownstone? How do you do that? These people are elitists, addicted to a good lifestyle, and they're trying to figure out how to cash out while still being honest. That's just my personal opinion. I just got sick and tired of it. I was like, you know what? Fuck you guys. White people are awesome. I'm not going to lie anymore for you. You know what I mean?
Amen.
That's my personal opinion. I'm not going to lie for you guys anymore. And I'm honest about it. That's my opinion, but you can take it or leave it. I've just worked in this industry for a decade around all these people and know them. That's it. That's my only evidence.
I've heard that there are a lot of people in these spaces that kind of have to nerf their views a little bit or hide their power levels, what people say, just because, again, it's like, if you don't, sometimes you kind of miss out on certain opportunities, certain, collaborations, certain resources being leveled your way to like expand your operations. And I think with Matt Gaetz, since he was in politics too, he especially had to play his cards close to his chest because it's a sticky business. It's a difficult business. And, it's interesting because when I was hanging out with some friends, ironically, Sarah and a couple other friends in California, I remember that people were saying that even Charlie Kirk is likely kind of red pilled on a lot of this stuff. But in his case, I would say that he's a grifter because he is red pilled. He is knowledgeable about all these things going on, yet he's kind of trying to control the narrative so that it doesn't swing the way he doesn't want it to. And so it's kind of difficult when, Matt was bringing up kind of the considerations about Matt. How do we know when someone is either just holding their cards close to their chest, or how do we know when someone's a grifter and instead they're just trying to shift the conversation back to what is most like financially feasible?
Well, someone also said, just a side note to you, Matt. They said, when Matt, Asians and whites should be allowed to mix. High IQ, high ethics, and high creativity. But I think Matt and I disagree. We think we should stick to our own.
My family has been Korean for 3,000 years, and I hope my family is Korean for another 3,000 years. I think that's fine. And white people say, I want my kid to marry a white kid. Like, what's wrong with that?
Nothing wrong with that.
I want my kid to marry a Korean. Like, I don't know. I think that's weird that people are trying to tell families how they should live their lives and how they want their future progeny to be. It's your choice. It's your decision. And if you want your family to be a certain way, that's your choice and prerogative.
Yeah. Absolutely. Why is that? Why is that? If a Northern European and a Southern European want to get together, God bless them. But I'll tell you this. I told them, we know there's one group of people that our daughters will never marry. If they married another race, there's somewhere it's like, okay, I'll forgive you. Because I get the high ethics, high standards argument. And it's like, hey, I'll still love you despite you just ruining our ancestral bond and promise to people who fought for us. But if you dare go into Lake Worth zip code and you marry one of those food store going folk, I will not talk to you. I am completely honest.
It's over.
Completely honest. Mud sharks are not allowed on this show. Okay? That's just you play in the mud, you're a chud. It's not a good thing. I'm not into it. I don't support it.
Well, I think it says a lot about you as a person. Not you, I'm saying if you were to engage in that Lake Worth activity, that says a lot about you. And I think that's a fair rule.
Someone said, let the North breed with the North. Okay, anyways, this is all saying. All right, going back to some real stories now. I know that was a really huge sidetrack.
What were we talking about?
Topic number 2. Topic number 2. Trump says that Obama is guilty of treason for ordering the 2016 Russia investigation, which treason, by the way, from my understanding, is worthy of death.
Yes.
Okay? I don't think sedition is death penalty, but I think treason is death.
It is.
So Trump just called for the execution of Obama. It's a little bit serious, right? Maybe we should talk about that. I see someone in the room crossing their fingers. Wow. Trump says Obama is guilty of treason for ordering 2016 Russia investigation. Time to go after people. And once again, I want to remind you that the Epstein files still have not been released. So that's just on top of that.
It is a complete deflection.
Right? Is this what's this?
Going on.
Yeah.
Of course.
Lay it down, Matt. Lay it down.
Because everyone's focused on the Epstein files. So he's like, hey, I got something bigger. It's treason. Because that's what Trump does. He's like performative. He goes big. And so everyone's focused on one thing. So let's just shift in a bigger way. And everyone's mad at Obama. But at the same time, dude, before we move on to Obama, let's finish what we started, which was that we were going to release the Epstein files. Do that first, and then we will all go with you on this Obama witch hunt. Everyone will get behind you. 100%. Only if you finish this Epstein file thing first. If you leave this Epstein file hanging, there is no faith that you will ever finish the Obama thing. How can we believe you for number 2 if you can't do number 1? And I think that's a problem with this administration, is that they keep on building to hide the things that they can't finish. They say, we're going to do this mass deportation, but they never did it. But they're like, oh, but we got to give them more money. Well, no, you said you're going to do that day 1. Why are we giving them more money? You haven't proven that you can do anything with the money that you have. Oh, we got to give more weapons to all these other wars. Well, you said the war was going to stop in 24 hours. What happened to that? Do what you said you were going to do, and then we will believe you. And then we will go the road with you. But until you do what you promised, I can't have any faith or trust that you will do what you're going to say you're going to do when you haven't done and what you promised to say, what you promised to do first. And I think this is a big problem with this Obama thing, is that he's trying to hide the Epstein under the rug and say, no, we got a bigger fish to fry. No, we want to finish Epstein first.
Yeah, thank you. You know,
Elijah's all for finishing guys off.
Yeah, thank you. I was going to say, how many times has Trump said this? Like 10 times now? He wants Obama in jail. He thinks Obama's a treasonous, seditious hoe. You know, like, how many times do we have to say the same thing every time? Nothing's going to happen, guys. That's the key thing.
They're not going to charge him with
happen.
treason. How can you even throw that word around? That's a huge word to say.
It's so
But they're not going to
stupid.
charge him with that. So then why say it? It's so disingenuous.
It's very disingenuous. And I also feel like, too, at this point, it's kind of become the new Hunter Biden, I couldn't speak for a moment there. Hunter Biden laptop obsession, right? We kept hearing like boomers over and over, oh, the Hunter Biden laptop. Don't forget about the Hunter Biden laptop. And then when we have something where we actually shouldn't forget it, like the Epstein list, as we keep mentioning, he's bringing up this like Obama treason thing to be the new Hunter Biden laptop, right? And at that point, you realize that Trump is trying to use and kind of employ the same inflammatory rhetoric that made us vote for him in 2016 and support him again in 2020 and what have you, but without kind of the actual ardor or heart that made us want to support him in the very first place. And so it's just pathetic. It's like a skin suit of who we originally had voted for.
Yeah, and I think one of the crazy things is like, I'm having one of those days today. Like I'm saying, where like, yeah, I've had a lot of things happen in the last 7 days, and someone even said I like episodes with Elijah when he's kind of off because they're the best. But I'm always off a little bit. It's like when people say you fell off. That's considering I was ever on. You know what I mean? Like what was I? Was I ever popular? No. We've always been a very mediocre show. But thank God everybody on the right wing is very mediocre. So we fit right in, right? It's a very, very mediocre talent pool. But, as I think about all this stuff, what they're doing is they are demoralizing us and they are exhausting us to the point to where they want us to just throw in the towel and stop caring. And it's gotten beyond gaslighting. It's gotten beyond simply lying. It's gotten past the point of no return. Somebody or multiple people, and I think it's a lot of people, are diddying, and that's not a lack of choice of words there, are diddying kids. And the same prosecutors involved in the Diddy and in the Epstein case. Pam Bondi let people off in the Epstein case, which is why she was put as AG. She was promised that. Okay, she was promised that position because she was going to mop up this mess. I don't know if she's just a good chain of command person who takes orders and she's just naive and stupid. But like you were saying, I know these people. They're not stupid, man. I mean, she's a woman, but women are good investigators, okay? Everyone knows that. They're damn good detectives. And you're going to tell me that she's going to go on air because she was just told to say, I have phase one, whatever. She thought this was her moment. Like you said, people are grifters. She was gonna blow the lid off the Epstein case. And now it turns out, for whatever reason, maybe it was FOIA, maybe it was a court order, there are actual reasons why they can't release these files. And I believe them damn well. There's reasons they can't release them. Are those reasons in the interest of the American people? No. Objectively, no. And the sad part is that I actually give Mike Johnson credit because the administration, the House, and the Senate are supposed to represent us, right? The House represents their district, the Senate represents their state. And they know that the American people want these files so much, they can't let the representatives represent in the people's house. Because what we'll get is a vote on these papers and they will vote to release them. And they do exist. They are not made up. And there's real people implicated. And so for now, they're doing this. Do what my son does when he's 2.5. I'm going to tell him to go to bed. He'll throw a blanket over himself and be like, are you there, buddy? No. And he's got a sheet over his head. Are you there? No, Dad. Go away. And you go, wow, this is crazy. My son disappeared. They're going to have to come back at some point, and they're betting on time, and they're betting on our memory being hold. And so they're going to put all these random things up. They're going to do some favors for us over the next few weeks and few months while they're in recess to get us talking about stuff, because the good guys in the industry will cover the other topics. They'll go on about, Obama being a treasonous, pig, And they'll just stop talking about it with enough time because they're reactionaries and they don't think for themselves. And, you know, they already tried Gaslight A, which was get everyone to say you don't need to talk about it anymore. Dinesh folded, but I like him. Charlie folded, and I like him. I like a lot of people who make mistakes. I'm one of them. But now it didn't work. It was just the Zionists, the staunch Zionists that are connected to the Trump administration that saw political opportunity. And I said that to Dinesh's face. Watch the interview. I said, I don't believe you, Dinesh. I said, I think you're trying to drop this because you see political expediency by pairing up with the Trump administration. You see political GOP opportunity for you and your family because your son's a congressman. And that's why you're doing this. Not because you care about the American people or you believe what Trump is saying. And that didn't work because no one gives a fuck what Mark Levin has to say. Okay?
That's real.
And so now they're doing this thing of like, well, then we're just not even going to come. We're not even going to meet. And we're just going to gaslight you and give you crumbs, you little stupid pig. Oink, oink, little piggy. You know, eat up your slop. And that's what they're doing to us now. And I'm tired of being treated like this. I don't know if anyone wants to weigh in on that. That's what I see this as. It's like, I don't care about your stupid Obama file, you bitch. I want to know who's molesting the kids.
I think what they're doing is they're trying to humiliate us because they know what we think. I don't think Pam Bondi went rogue, by the way, during that first Epstein file.
I don't think so either.
that she was told to do that. I really think they thought that would work. If they roll out the influencers and they do this picture that people are like, oh, look, we actually got it, and we would move on. They didn't realize that we actually cared and we would push back. I think they saw how the influencer and Con Inc. worked during the election. They thought they had the same clout going into the first 3-4 months of the Trump presidency, and they were trying to double down and double dip into that network that they had already created. The problem is that Americans expected change immediately. It didn't happen, and the popularity and the trust in what the administration is doing is fading fast. And they doubled down, they tripled down, thinking eventually if we push hard enough, they'll come back on our side. But it's not working. I think people are smart enough, people are waking up. People have seen this during COVID when they try to blame every other governor, but reality, the administration was part of shutting it down. No accountability. No one says, I'm sorry. No one says, hey, we really messed that up. They just double down, triple down. Hey, Operation Warp Speed, like it's a great thing. The rest of America goes, no, that's bullshit. We didn't want that. We didn't ask for that. Oh, and by the way, we're going to do these AI-driven mRNA vaccines and shut up. Don't ask any questions about it. We're like, wait a second. We didn't vote for this.
Yeah.
And people are waking up.
No, I think you bring up a really good point about that. The binder thing would have been enough and that we would have just shut up after that. I think they actually kind of overestimated their our support, the MAGA and conservative movement support for these influencers, because they really made it a point to partner with these influencers. I mean, they brought in Dan Bongino and they made kind of a whole spectacle of having this relationship with certain influencers. And I saw it I'm sure Elijah saw it too, as somebody who's worked in media for a while. This kind of like weird relationship between, we've talked about this before, the Trump and the right-wing media. Like they really wanted to be in bed with one another. And they really, with especially Don Jr., I think he made it a point to go on several shows too. Everybody in his family wrote a book. They did their rounds. They, went on different Con Inc. shows, and they thought that was going to be enough for people because everybody was like, oh, that's so cool. The president's on all these shows and he's ditching CNN and mainstream media. But that was so like 2018 and people are over it. And now that we have these newer, more important questions, we care less about, whether or not our favorite Con Inc. show, I say that ironically, obviously, has Donald Trump on or has Don Jr. on as a guest. We actually want answers to these very important questions, and we want to see the fruit of this investigation, and we still have not. And nobody really cares about influencers anymore. Like, sorry, we won the election. We got what we wanted from these influencers who helped get Trump into the Oval Office again. Now can we actually have some real work? Oh, but wait, here's a picture with the binders. That's enough, right? You guys are good, right? They really didn't think we'd question it after that.
Jews with binders. It's actually crazy. I actually was considering the fact that it's actually over. It's so over. Someone in the chat actually sent in this picture here. They sent a link here. Said, shout out to Matt. I love this guy in the Goonies. Could bring this up. He was fantastic. Good to see. They literally put that in. I just love this guy. Which one's Matt?
What was the name?
Which one do you think?
Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of a mystery.
It's the BBC. That's Matt. That's Matt. No, but go ahead, Pine.
Well, I was gonna ask, what was the name of that kid in the Goonies? I haven't watched it in like forever.
Let me see. His name is Quan. His real name is Quan. And I do not know. His real name is Quan.
Quan.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then that's him now.
Wow.
Hello, Quan.
That's insane. Quan.
He's
Dang,
obviously
Matt,
Chinese,
there you
right?
are.
Quan is Chinese.
You're right there.
It's
There
probably
he is.
Chinese or Vietnamese, one of those two.
You know, Koreans are not Chinese people. And Chinese
Well, Chinese people
bark
eat
in
dogs.
public,
Do Koreans
too.
eat dogs?
Yeah, Koreans eat a little bit of dogs.
They do.
By the way,
Ooh.
that
Can't
was,
say I'm a fan.
that was an incorrect photo that you just brought up. This is actually Quan now.
Spelled
That's so
differently.
true. Yeah.
A couple super chats. Cocktail said off topic. Gavin had a clip from Rift on Gommel today. He talked a bit about your split and gave you a nice shout out saying he loved and likes you more than a friend. Yeah.
Let's go.
I don't even I have no idea why we split up to this day. I just got an angry text message. And I love him too, but my whole life makes no fucking sense, guys. I'm kind of going through it. Anyway, Annie Somnia said, Elijah is how I got off the Tim Pool needle. Plus, I couldn't listen to the same sentence for the millionth time. Thank you so much for the shout out. Plus, Skibbity Toilet 915 said, I appreciate the comments. Thank you guys. You guys rock. Shout out to Anna. Again, I think your ex username is wrong, girly. Sad. I don't know what that means.
Oh, yeah. Well, my username on there is wrong. It's not underscore wrong again. It's at wrong again underscore.
Oh, your name on there is wrong?
Yeah, yeah.
I've actually
lower
known that.
third.
I just haven't had time to fix it. But yeah, we know.
Yeah.
We
No,
know.
only because people have
Interesting.
said it, but yeah, we do
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, good job, guys.
thanks.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, can we also just ask for a second, like, what is going on in our YouTube? Like, look at this. Like, when I get like a super chat, look at this. Like, look at it. See, it just like
Wait, what is it?
glitches?
BBL as in like Brazilian butt lift?
Yeah, I think so.
I've never had a Brazilian butt lift, so I don't even know where that's.
Oh, well, it's
like-
not it's the likes. Like, why does that happen
Oh,
on everything?
I say it was more.
Those are all the white
I
boys
was
being
thinking about myself.
corrupted.
Yeah.
It's
That's
liking them
true.
and then realizing that their like gets.
They're
gets
like, oh no,
noticed.
but then I like it, but no.
Someone liking it a million times, like yeah, win Anna. All
Well,
right.
well, it's one of those things. It's like never ask a white supremacist the color of his girlfriend. You know,
Yeah,
like they
yeah,
say
yeah.
one thing, but then there's
Okay, that being
Right,
said,
right.
I want to talk a little bit about the Netanyahu interview on the Nelk Boys.
Oh.
But before we talk about that, I just want to remind you, I want to circle back for a moment on the crypto angle we talked about earlier, and it's wild how digital assets are flipping the script on corporate finance. And if you're into how businesses are adapting to this volatile yet rewarding space, Hyperbit Technologies is worth a closer look. And we talked about giants like MicroStrategy and Tesla stacking Bitcoin on their books as a smart treasury move, treating it like digital gold to combat inflation and preserve value. But Hyperbit, listed as HYPE on the Canadian exchange and HYPAF in the US, takes it up a notch. They're not passive holders. They're actively mining coins like Dogecoin, Litecoin, and more with cutting-edge, eco-friendly setups powered by renewables. Now, this creates a dynamic treasury that's constantly growing through production, not just for purchases. Now, what sets them apart? Well, advanced rigs, optimized for efficiency, paired with affordable hydroelectric power, ensuring that they mine profitability while keeping their carbon footprint low. It's a strategy that lets them accumulate assets, reinvest in growth, or even pivot to a new opportunity in the crypto ecosystem. If you're an investor eyeing crypto exposure, Hyperbit simplifies it all. No need to deal with hardware security headaches or market timing. They handle the mining, acquisitions, and safeguarding, giving you a broad, resilient entry into the sector. Remember, check it out under HYPAF in the I think it's HYPAF, in the USA, and HYPE in Canada. Link is in the bio for more details. Just a little note on that script as well. There's a little bit something off there. But you can follow them there and invest in their company. Plus, I got to remind you guys, as an addition to this, make sure you read the disclaimer in the bio. It's important that you do so because investing is, of course, volatile, and this is not financial advice. That being said, going down a little bit to the Nelk Boys. Check this out. So Netanyahu was on the Nelk Boys. This is a crazy script here. And he was asked about the starving kids in Gaza. Now, one's in the chat if you have no idea who the Nelk Boys are. Two's in the chats if you do. The Nelk Boys, as most Republicans would know, gave a giant Zyn container to Tucker Carlson, I believe. That's basically all I know about them. I've never seen anything from them. And they are wildly popular, though. And every time I watch them, I go, what the hell? But I like them. I just like, they're like frat boys or something. You know what I mean? They're like, you know what I'm talking about?
They're like Canadian. They were a Canadian prank channel. So they're Canadians.
They're Canadians.
They're Canadians.
The Nelk Boys are?
Yeah.
Like
Oh.
Sarah Stock. So they're CIA plants.
Something with those
You're
Canadians,
CIA
man.
plant. Yeah.
Stephen Crowder, Lauren Southern, Gavin McGinnis, Sarah Stock. Sarah's actually an American citizen also, by the way. But we'll just leave it as the Canadian thing.
And I think the other guy's name is literally Steiny. So
yeah, you got Steiny, Stock.
Kind of know
starts
where
with
this interview was
S's,
gonna go.
SS, Nazis, Brigade. You get the connection. Jesus Christ, the Antichrist. You get it? Sorry, it's like you know you watch those videos.
It's just drawing out all those connections. It's one of the Facebook boomer posts where it's like all these like pins between them, you know?
Yeah, it makes. Yeah, what about that girl? That girl for the wellness company. What's her name? Polly, or something like that.
Yeah, the one who like maps out every connection.
Yeah, that, like we're all
PwC.
like being paid by the CIA. There's this girl that has this map of like the CIA through this company, the wellness company, and like anyone that pushes their ad is like a CIA asset. And it's like with like stars of David's on our forehead or something. And there's this whole map.
There's actually a way bigger one too.
Yeah,
I'll
like,
show
I'm on
I'll show
it.
it to you later.
I'm on it. The CIA asset. I'm being like funded by a CIA op, and I'm like, dude, listen, man, I'm actually not being funded. That's even crazier. You know what's even crazier? When you're doing the funding yourself, and people say you're the CIA asset. It's like you're like literally not buying yourself stuff so you can like build something. And everyone's like, you're getting money from the CIA. And you're like, if the CIA wants to give me money, I'll take it. I'll give my address out. Please email me. It's the Qatari money threat too.
It is.
I'll take it. I honestly would take Qatari money. I don't care if anyone quotes this. I would take the money. They're our ally. They're our ally. We have a base there. But no one's offered me it yet. But if Qatari royalty's hearing it, it's like, well, everyone takes money from the Zionists. All my friends do it, man. They all take money from big Zionist donors connected to the Israeli government. We talked a little bit about randomly. This is crazy. Do you know this is crazy? I told this guy I was using ExpressVPN, not to get around the porn ban in Florida. That's what everyone says. Ew, tits, gross. What I was using it for is honestly, we do a lot of journalism internationally. We have to get around, you know, we all have to connect on different servers to talk to each other from Australia, et cetera, because of their hate speech laws. So they can't even access censored TV in most of Australia. You know, like they have everything bans there. So we have to use VPNs. Now we use ExpressVPN. This is crazy. I told him, he's like, oh, you use a VPN? I was like, yeah, I use Express. We used to push it on the show. Matt, why don't you elucidate us into the reality of what's actually going on in the VPN world? Because this will fucking blow your mind.
So ExpressVPN is owned by an Israeli billionaire who...
Oh my goodness.
Here we go. Watch. They're all owned by Israelis. Here goes.
They're owned by an Israeli billionaire. He's known to fund the IDF. He hires former Mossad to be a CEO, CTO. This is not like crazy information. This is all public information. So when you use ExpressVPN, you are funding the Israeli billionaire who funds the IDF.
And he said that they're all like, can you explain? Because we go over in your almost serious episode this more. I know that Noticer will like this too. So you told me, so your ISP, like AT&T or whatever, knows everything you're doing if you're on a private browser. They know
Correct.
your Quagmire porn history, your Lois Lane Brian threesome videos you're watching. We talked about that. But, so AT&T knows.
They know everything you're doing.
You said the private browser is just so your girl doesn't find out what you're doing.
So you can hide your history from
Correct.
her.
So she doesn't know why you take long poos. But I'm outing everyone right now. I was like, my wife's watching. Okay, anyway. So then, you know, they say the cure for hemorrhoids is stop looking at porn. Because it's like you're just sitting on the toilet for too long. No, but so that's that. So we know that. So, but obviously VPNs are very useful, especially like when I was in Australia. Like we mentioned, I have to use American servers to watch American Netflix because no American movies are available overseas. I don't know if people know this. You can't watch them anywhere except for America. They're not available in the rest of the world. No Amazon Prime movies. None of that stuff exists anywhere. It's here, okay? So it's a problem. We love entertainment here. But the dirty little secret is that apparently these VPNs are actually doing some nasty stuff with our information. This is actually horrible. And it's scary to know that Israeli billionaires connected to the IDF, the Israeli government, are doing what with all of our information? What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, when you use a VPN, well,
it's horrible.
If you don't use a VPN, your ISPs can get all your information. They know exactly what you're doing online. When you use a traditional or legacy VPN like Express, who is owned by the Israeli billionaire, then instead of your ISP knowing what you're doing, ExpressVPN or the equivalent VPN knows everything you're doing. So they have the ability to see all your activity. They know exactly what you're doing online. And then it becomes a trust issue. Do you trust that this company that's based overseas, that has the ability to know what you're doing online, do you trust that they will never lose, compromise, sell, backdoor your information? And I think most people here, once they know who the owners of the company are, you probably don't trust them. But that's how the entire industry is built, is that you need to trust your VPN that they will never compromise. Maybe you do. I think that's crazy. I think that's actually insane. There has to be a new way to do it, and that's exactly what we've done. We've built a new systems architecture, VP.net, so that we as a VPN provider cannot see your data, cannot see your information, because if we don't know what you're doing online, then we can't lose, sell, compromise, share, trade, backdoor your information. So that's our intent, to provide real, true privacy. And it's not privacy if you take the information from the government or you take from the ISP and you transfer that responsibility to this VPN provider. That's not privacy. You're just shifting responsibility. The only way privacy works is that nobody knows, because privacy is binary. There's no such thing as kind of private. You're either private or you're not.
Yeah, so what was weird about that is that, just so you know, all of your weird searches that you use a VPN to search
His mind was blown today.
is now owned by a Jewish billionaire who now knows what you're looking at. I just thank God I'm not looking at weird stuff. So
Yeah,
that's
of course
good.
not. Of course not.
Thank God, Matt, because I'm not weird. I'm not a weird person. I'm 19 and I'm Catholic and I'm perfect. So that's good. But if I was an older guy, 32 or something, and like religiously ambiguous and trying to figure out his life, that wouldn't be good. You know what I mean? That wouldn't be good at all. But no, but I mean, I bring that up. Jokes aside, we're just joking. But it's like, Anna, do you use a VPN?
I used to use ExpressVPN, funny enough, but I also didn't really look up anything crazy, but like maybe considered by the government crazy.
She's like, I did look up how to put fertilizer and ammonia in a canister and load it in the back of a truck. It's like, oh, you know, which by the way,
that was
the
only
Oklahoma
one
City
time.
bombings were not.
That was only
not
once.
Timothy
Okay?
McVeigh, but anyway,
let's hope they ignored that. But yeah, I did use that, but then I stopped it because I had heard something like
girls
that.
don't really look at. Well, actually, girls that look at an increasingly amount of adult material. That's actually a real thing. Have you heard of that?
I have heard of that.
Yeah, it's like they're up to like 12% or 15% or something of all adult materials consumed by females, which is odd.
Yeah, well, and the sad thing is, apparently all the like more violent pornography, the majority of their audience is made up of women, right?
Because the RAPE fantasies and those stuff is mostly women consuming them.
It's mostly women, sadly. The videos where someone's getting like beat up or hurt in any kind of way, it's mostly a female audience. And I think that almost in some ways it's for a lot of women kind of an outlet of expressing that desire for a more maybe like masculine man, a more like aggressive man, not a man that's necessarily going to, hurt them or anything like that, but somebody who is going to be more assertive. And since a lot of women don't get that in society, I think they look to this more like extreme avenue of getting that. Just like how, a young man might look to an AI to kind of look for a girlfriend, right? Look for kind of this maternal girlfriend type figure or something. And it's a extreme reaction to the lack of marriages that's going on in our civilization.
That's a really interesting
currently.
theory.
Yeah.
So women have fantasies that they like to watch that involve them getting beat up?
No, I think his point is like that women are not like that's obviously unhealthy. Like if you're doing that, that's probably like something mentally wrong with you.
Right.
But I think that it is probably a reaction to like it would normally manifest as in a healthy way in a healthy society where we lived in an actual patriarchal society that functioned normally. We wouldn't have women doing that, I guess. And I think it's a good point.
Absolutely. Well, because if you look at sort of the way that pornography is, right, the very nature of it, oftentimes it's an overcorrection and an overreaction to societal problems between men and women, right? Because it's very easy access, right? Why would you want as a man to go out and have to find a girlfriend and take her on a date or what have you when you have your digital harem. And as a woman, you know, it's like, why are you going to sort of accept this paradigm of feminism, accept this paradigm of dating where men are not very aggressive anymore, they're not very assertive, when you easily have online content that's accessible, showing men kind of not only being assertive, but being so assertive in an extreme way, it kind of fulfills like a deeper desire that is otherwise extremely healthy.
Yeah, well, here's the problem. Men are about as faithful as the options that they have usually. So that's actually a true statement. And not in all cases, especially if you get older, you know, you might slow down. But, you know, there's a lot of argument recently between Andrew Tate and Matt Walsh. I'd probably come somewhere in the middle between them, you know, in like terms of, I think they both stand as like monoliths to like represent a side of reality that's not real. You know, like Matt Walsh is like this, you know, you're all going to just become multimillionaires and marry the girl from high school and have 10 kids. It's like, well, it's not really true for anyone, really. And then Andrew Tate's like, you're going to be a porn, you know, guy that owns casinos and has 30 children with 100 different women. It's like, oh, well, that's also not true. But yeah, the harem model, I've always said I understand the harem model completely. I don't understand the multiple wives model. That's crazy. The Mormons are wild. You have to emotionally support multiple women. LeMayo, that sounds like hell. Dante's Inferno, I'd rather go there than to deal with something like that, Kai. But on the other side, just kidding, Kai, I love you. He doesn't promote polygamy at all. I also, you know, think that, you know, the idea of like the fact that, yeah, people just use porn because it's a harem. It's like, well, dude, the truth is like men's sexual reproductive strategy, they want to smash as much, you know, I have to be careful with my words on the show, but they want to hit, they want to get as much tail, as we'll call it here, to be like nice, as possible. And they're going to get and when you say as possible, it's as much as they can get. So you get a lot of these guys, especially that are like, I'm Catholic and I'm faithful. You don't even have a girlfriend. And no girls want you. So why are you telling me you're faithful? Well, you don't have options for one girl, let alone 10 girls. What I respect is I actually do respect Matt, by the way. Matt could get as many girls as he wants, probably. You know, it's he's a good looking guy. He's wealthy, very, very wealthy, very rich, really rich guy. He's tall, whatever. And he chooses to be faithful. I can respect that, right? But I think when you talk about the porn thing, it's like for all of history, powerful men, men get powerful to have options. You know, that's just really what it is. You get rich and powerful. And now you can be a poor loser and have as many options as you want. And that's a deadly vice, man. That's why it's so addictive. It's a deadly ass vice. You be a fat loser and be unable to attract women and see more pussy in a night than a king sees in his lifetime. That's kind of a crazy. It's like that's, you know what I'm saying? That's actually a really deadly vice. It's like that's why it's like porn for men is just social media in general for women. Because women can get more attention in a nighttime than a queen could get in her lifetime.
That's a good point. Yeah.
And women want attention and men want sex. So, you know, but that's all I'm saying. So I don't think women should really be. I don't think if women want to be healthy, they should spend a lot of time on social media, if at all. But if they do, then it is up for them. I don't let my wife personally go on social media, but it is what it is. And I don't think even men that smash women in real life can avoid porn for most situations because they want it all. It's just more and more and more. And so they'll combine it together. It's a very, very scary world we live in. And I think that porn being this accessible is very dangerous. And I don't think I don't think it's ever going to get solved. I don't think we're ever going to solve it. The Jews won on that one. It's like, how are you going to win that one unless you ban it? Unless you ban it, there's no other way.
Unless you ban it. And I think that's the thing too. You know, Nick had this great segment a long time ago where he talked about this idea that sometimes we do want vice, right? All of us, because of our fallen nature, right? We're attracted to a certain vice. Maybe it's alcohol, maybe it's drugs, maybe it's sex, gluttony, whatever it may be, right? And we have to have a society that best sets us up so that we're not exposed to those things that make us fall into vice, because none of us are that strong. And I think, you know, something that is kind of a often liberal talking point or what have you is, well, if someone has this desire, that desire is good, ergo, we should allow access for this. But there are a lot of desires that people have that are not good. You know, if I get angry at someone, right, I might have the desire to, you know, hit them. Well, that's assault. Or, you know, if I want vengeance on someone, I might have the desire to go even further in hurting them. And that's still an illegitimate desire. And so our society and our politics have to be set up in such a way that we don't enable that scratching of the itch, that feeding of this sort of urge that can really never be satiated. Otherwise, it just wrecks men and it wrecks women, like what we've seen with women in social media and men in pornography. It's just an unmitigated, unfettered access to almost like a feeding trough of vice, and you choke on it, right? You die not by starvation, by overconsumption, really.
Yeah, 1 minute stands. Everyone's always like, I don't understand one night stands, but you have 3 minute stands every night with Pamela Henderson. You know, it's what it is. It's the good old hand.
Pamela Henderson.
Yeah.
Rich and powerful men have a lot of women.
Mm.
Rich and powerful men also have fucked up kids.
Absolutely.
If you had rich and powerful men that were good fathers, maybe actually that would work out better.
I agree.
The problem is that rich and powerful men have a lot of options and they take all those options, but they sacrifice the raising of their children.
It's true.
And that's actually the problem. That's what people say, oh, there's a lot of options, so you should be able to do it. Well, being a man is also about self-control. And without the self-control to be able to do it, you're sacrificing somewhere else. And you either sacrifice your desire or you sacrifice time with your children. And all the time you're chasing tail, all the time you're trying to pick up new chicks. Even if it's easier for you, it's time. Dating multiple women is extremely time consuming.
It's only
It's
a
a
nightmare.
headache and it's a mental drain, and being on dates, telling the same dumb stories over and over and over again, it's exhausting.
Man, speaks from experience.
Oh my goodness.
You're like, you know, when you like on Friday night when you're gonna see the new Superman. I mean, somebody sees the new Superman movie.
Or you can spend that time, effort, emotional effort to spend more time with your kids. Maybe you'll have better kids. Maybe they won't blow your money because you're rich and now you give them a bunch of money and you're like, oh, if I give all my money to my kid, he's gonna fuck it up. Well, he probably will, but you were probably a shit dad. Maybe if you're a good father, if you're a attentive father and you're home instead of chasing tail, maybe your kids will turn out better.
Yeah, Pinesap.
Yeah. What can I say? Listen, I got to be home right now. I'm out here chasing tail. I got to be home. I've got like 20 kids or something. I'm cryogenically, freezing my stuff or whatever to have even more. It's a mess.
No,
it's a mess.
no, joke.
Pine-sap musk.
Pine musk.
Pine
Pine
musk.
musk.
That doesn't sound like a good.
That doesn't sound appetizing.
No. $10 from Tehed Berlin said, expose Elijah's Vietnamese porn habit using a VPN. Thank you very much for that as well.
Dang.
Plus, additionally, someone else sent a $5 super chat, said, Yakub created the Zionists in a lab. Okay. I guess that's true. I like that. I like that conclusionary statement. Sometimes we do the last segment on locals, but tonight we're just gonna end it there on that. I think it's I wanted to play this clip though from Netanyahu, which I think we'll just.
Oh, we didn't even talk about Nelk Boys.
No, we didn't talk about them. But I think we'll talk about the Nelk tomorrow because there's a lot to go into. It's a long segment. I have it's like 45, 50 minutes of conversation to be had on that, and no one at this table wants to talk about Jews. You know what I mean? Everyone here supports them and loves them. I just want to say that to you too. We all love them. We are big Zionists here. And it's very, very good information. But I think it doesn't do it justice. Plus, I just want to say that, people say he was the king of the Jews, Jesus, but I want to talk about the real king of the Jews. Can you put him on my screen here? Ladies and gentlemen, the king of the Jews.
Why do they say Israel's like starving the people of Gaza?
Well, because we're trying to get the food in, and we let food trucks in, and guess what happens when we let them in? Hamas steals the food, takes the good chunk for itself, then they jack up the prices, and then they sell the food to its population, to its hungry population, if they give them at all, and then use the money that they take from their own people to recruit more killers into their
Wow, that's a really honest response. It was good stuff. I really felt like ending on that one. You know what I mean? That was a really good response. Matt, you have a VPN. You also have social media websites. Matt and I have an episode coming out this Friday or sometime, maybe Monday, one of these days, an almost serious episode I'm really excited about. I'm going to Dallas this weekend to build a studio for Peter McCullough, Nicholas Herschel, some Rift combinations of new medical stuff we're going into. Then we're going to El Salvador to go with Jack Cruz, Max Kaiser, and then we're going to go up to D.C. to build our new D.C. bureau for our D.C. journalists in the White House and stuff. It's all good stuff, believe it or not. I know it's crazy, but it's growing. The network's really, really, really hitting its stride thanks to your support. But one thing that I think is cool is that everybody now is trying to do something new, realizing you're never going to be accepted by Con Inc. They're never going to take you in if you tell them the truth, and they're never going to give you the money that you want because you're not a Zionist. You love your children. You love God. and that's not enough for them. So someone of those people, Matt Kim, who's not against anybody or anything, is not outspokenly saying he hates anyone but those who lie and deceive and try to get others to do the same, has decided that he wants to tell the truth and start his own VPN, which a few of you in the chat said you just got in the last 2 days, which is really cool.
Amazing.
That doesn't track your information. It doesn't. So even when the government comes to it, they cannot get the information because there's no way for it to learn its own information. It's like a self-deleting source. Like, not even collect it, but it's just like it's never going to collect anything. So there's nothing to give the government when they want to know what someone's using it for. They can't figure it out. And I think that's really cool. And it made me very happy because I actually have to use VPNs for the jokes aside, very strategic government reasons and information sharing reasons. Matt, tell us how we can get that, by the way, because I find that to be so important that people actually get that VPN and switch from Express, because we all have Express.
Well, you can go to vp.net, and hopefully in the next 24 hours, we'll have a vp.net/rift for you. That's what I would like to do, if that's something you guys are open for. But vp.net, it's the only VPN that can't spy on you. And when we say we can't spy on you, we literally cannot correlate what you're doing online to the destination. That's how it's designed. We think that's how privacy should be. And we hope you support it.
Yeah, it's really awesome. And by the way, the Nelk Boys have now changed their name to the Nelk Goys. My sources are telling me after that. So, Anna, how can people find you and follow you?
You can find me at wrongthinkanna_ on Twitter and on Instagram.
Pinesap, we were going to have Pine read thank you, but then there's 917 people. 917. I do think you should film a video and
absolutely.
Just on your page do that.
100%.
So where can people watch you to maybe in the next couple of days you'll thank everyone. I think you really should read everyone out and say a thank you. That's really important. But congratulations, 32 grand now, man. 32 grand.
I'm so thankful for you guys. I mean, the biggest thing is even if there was no money, right? Even if that wasn't even a conversation, the prayers that you've been sending my way, the love and support that I've gotten, despite everything going on, has meant the world to me. I mean, you guys are the reason why I do what I do. You're the reason why I want to, continue and just talk about God with you. And I guess what I could say is I'm going to do that reading coming up here soon. I've gotten a lot of podcast invites though, so it might be a little off, right? I got to appear on a couple shows, but you can follow me at Pinesap on Rumble. You can follow me at Pinesap3 on Instagram. You can follow me Feels Guy 2003 on X, and you can follow my YouTube as well.
It's follow me Pinesap on X, Feels Guy 2023 on Instagram, Rape Graper 1488 on Instagram. It's bro, that's a lot of names.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's a lot of names. Mendoza.
Yep, you can follow me on Twitter at Mike Mendoza JPG or Instagram. And also, we didn't really shout it out. And I think he's pretty set up for next few months ahead. But if you do want to give anything to Pinesap's donation site, it's in the description. I think if Cocteau could put it in the chat too, that'd be greatly appreciated. But like I said, we've more than met the goal. We've exceeded. We've doubled it. So happy for him. And it was just a last second thing right before we did the show yesterday. So I'm really glad. It's probably the most meaningful thing we've done.
It's Mike's idea, by the way.
Yeah,
it
Mike's
was.
idea.
It was.
Yeah, well, it was Mike's idea.
And I didn't even think that, to do that really, but then you guys brought it up and helped me out in such this way, and I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. I literally just can't express how thankful I am for God placing all of you in my life and having this beautiful moment that we could share together on this podcast. This has really made my day.
Dude, that's really great. See, we don't even know each other, but here at Rift, our goal is you see that there you got the let me zoom in here. $32,000, 570 of a $15,000 goal range. Shout out to AF Post and other accounts who shared this and made it possible. Again, shout out to AF Post for and other accounts. If I haven't mentioned to you, everyone who supported, including there's some Gloiper1 account, some people that I saw on X. I don't know who you are, but whether it's $5, $50, or you just shared it, reminding you that you also should make sure you read all the prayers too, because there's 767 prayers for you. And so I was like, we'll read it off. And it's wow, that's 1,500 things you have to read off on the show. I don't think we're going to do that today. But I'm sure you'll do that and you'll communicate with your followers if they want to hear
Absolutely.
themselves read off. There's so many comments. I think that I read there's like 740 of those are comments. So you're gonna have like a 3-hour stream reading off comments, probably and respond to that. Good luck to you, my friend. And we're very happy to have you here. And a reminder, again, at Rift TV, the point of what we're doing here is to bridge the gap to where Connie came in and just stop supporting young people because they all don't believe in the Zionist regime and its supremacy. And instead of realizing that our movement needs young people, like a church needs children, and so you shouldn't be upset about kids crying, young people are messy, often don't know what they're doing, and sometimes they're retarded enough to work at a company and then say they're a fascist on a public Jubilee episode and get fired. But I mean that in a love. I've got fired too for stupid shit. So I'm not pointing the finger, but my point is that, hey, we know just because you do something that the world says is stupid doesn't mean it is. Abortion is not considered stupid. It's considered legally a right of a woman, but it's murder and it's evil. And what you said isn't wrong or evil or illegal or anything you said about it. We just live in a very, very litigious and cancel culture world controlled by a very select group of people who want to make sure that white people never collectivize or fight for anything that matters to them. And you stood your ground and you said what you said, and you still have never backed down or apologized. And I've always said when you're getting canceled, don't apologize. Never apologize to the mob. It's absolutely ridiculous. So shout out to the other people, 977 people who made this possible, to the 767 who said prayers, and to the 125 people who shared the link. That's also important too. We really do appreciate you. And we don't just raise money for anybody here. We're not like every week have some fundraiser. And please do not send me your Give, Send, Goes. Okay, I've already got a bunch of them. Please do not. I'm not a fundraising channel. We're not doing this. I know you probably have a serious life, but please do not. I'm being completely serious. About 200 of them have been sent to me. Please do not send me your Give, Send, Goes. I'm not sharing them. Anyway, to my guests, to Mike, and the rest of you guys, have a good night, and may God bless the United States of America. I'm signing out.